to make every tournament better for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can I request Rob take his shirt off for the whole stream?
Who knows? You might get a little bit of that. Who knows?
Mm. How many subs? How many subs? Rob, what's the number? How many points for that?
50 subs to K Money and we'll make it happen.
50 subs to me and Rob takes his shirt off? Oh, that's a dangerous number, man. All right. So we have Fafnir banned by the Joust Knights. We have Terra banned by Bruv Gang, baby. Cash Money, thanks for the follow.
And those are two crucial picks when it comes to Joust. I mean, Fafnir is just strong.
Oh, yeah. The Persephone ban.
Terror with the healing, followed up by
Hell
Persephone.
yeah.
Wow. Get the plants out of here.
Oh, yeah. Followed by the Uller ban. And the Kabrakan, of course, you gotta get the Kabrakan out. Oh, my.
I mean, everybody knows what happens when you don't do that. Full
Yeah.
damage, lifesteal,
Not fun to fight into.
double clap.
Fury, are there any specific rules? So each team has to have a Hunter, Guardian, and Mage. Those people can build however they'd like. Mr. Fabs, yes, you're good to start. And the Sobek ban. That's a pick that I think is going to be 100% either banned or picked all night. That Displacement Guardian just does wonders at, plucking them out of placement. Huge follow-up by a Hunter and a Mage. Oh, and we got a Chiron hover here. Chiron lock-in by Bruv Gang. There will be no Warriors and no Assassins tonight. So there's no Serket ban because there's going to be no Warriors and no Assassins tonight.
Absolutely. So take it right off the list. I mean, that's everybody's go-to band. If you go into Joust, if you played at all, you would know that. But these are some strong bands here. And I mean, the Chiron first pick, interesting play, good cleanse, good ults. Let's see if the Joust Knights can come up with a counter for the Chiron. What do you think they're going to look to pick up here, K-Money?
Oh, we got a Thoth lock in.
I'll have to go with a Thoth. Followed up by a Kumba. That combo, man. I mean, you get ulted by Kumba, your legs are flailing in the air. You're just waiting for that Thoth. All this charging, you can just feel it. Such a bad place to be if you're on the opposite end of that.
Oh yeah, huge blink alt setup and lights out just like that.
Let's see if the Bruv gang can come up with a counter for the Thoth Kumba. I mean, I have a few things in mind. Of course, I don't want to ruin anything, ruin the picks and bans, but there are definitely two crucial gods that I see here that counter the Thoth.
All right, we got the prediction up for who will win this game, Bruv Gang or Joust Knights, as well as yeah. Who's on the team? So we have 1 moment. Let me pull that up for y'all. Okay, so yeah. Oh, there we go. We got Inactivation, Pitbull, and Yash on Bruv Gang versus JDK, Boca's Finest, and ZC Apollo on Joust Knights. The Ymir Hover and Lock. Oh,
Ooh,
baby.
that's one of the
We saw
gods I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Last tournament, Ymir rained havoc. Picked and banned that wall. Just raining havoc, man. We saw a lot of walls and slows. There's an on her ban.
Strong ban.
I think we need to see maybe a Hui ban by Bruv Gang.
Yeah, Hoyi, I mean, he's such a strong god. Chiron tries to dash, he just gets marked and stunned.
Maybe
That
an
all
X
slow.
ball. There's the Hui ban.
Smart ban on their behalf. Just nice pick up the Agni, Mr. Make It Rain.
And the Baron.
Baron Samity.
Oh, yeah. Agni is just so good in the Thoth. That is a great ban.
Oh my gosh. The first time you hear "Make It Rain" and you just can't move, 2
Make it
more minions
rain.
hit you.
Take him to church. Slap your
Take
mama.
it slap your mama. Mr. Make It Rain himself.
Oh yeah.
Oh, classic God. Let's see what they opt to pick up here. See if walls will dominate this game again. The hover on the Medusa and the lock-in of the Medusa.
Oh,
Oof.
I have a feeling that's Sexy Apollo on the Medusa, and that's a signature pick.
That is a
And
classic pick
there's the
for his
Scylla.
owners.
Are we gonna see some blinks on the Scylla and the Medusa this game, perhaps?
Link Sella with the
I hope
root and the
so.
crush. Oof. I wouldn't want to be on that end. That's for sure.
So for
Either
game
way.
one here,
Mm-hmm.
we got Bruv Gang, Chiron, Ymir, and Scylla, Joust Knights, Thoth, Kumba, Medusa. Prediction is up, chat. Channel points going crazy.
Let's go. Pick your votes. Who you guys got your money on?
Who y'all got your money on? Two very good comps. This will be best of one. Every game will be best of one, except for the finals, which will be the best of three.
Yes, indeed.
Alrighty. When we're ready, we're going to throw it over to our beautiful casters for this game. The Molten Man and Dilo.
Big surprises. They have been revealed. Yeah. I mean, both of these team comps, I mean, they've got Wave Clear, we've got CC, we've got strong ults. I mean, one flick of a CC and anyone can be dead and this game could turn just that quick. I mean, what do you feel when you see a Thoth in comparison to a Scylla in the queues?
I think the
I mean,
Thoth is like really good at that range. The Scylla's really good at blinking, getting that damage off, getting out. Both just insane follow up and burst off this Ymir freeze, the Kumba, Root, Mez, alt. Just so much potential to just kill or be killed. And that's what it's
absolutely.
going to come down to.
Absolutely. See if the walls make a
Absolutely.
difference.
Maybe. Look at Joust Knight's got no way to get over that wall. That wall is going to rain havoc. You're going to hopefully get buff control with that, get firm.
Absolutely.
Just
I
so much
mean,
control. Yeah. All right, and here we go for game one. Gonna give it over to Mort and Dilo.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the traditional Joust tournament. $50 on the line. That's like 2 whole Jersey Mike's giant Philly cheesesteak subs. So big stakes here. I'm Dilo, joined here by the Morton man. We got Tess Almighty, Eye in the Sky, and 3 great players on each side. Bruv Gang versus the Joust Knights. Mort, how we feeling?
Feeling phenomenal here as the fight's already taken off. Take a look, a bit of early action. Wow.
Not surprised to see it. This comp does want to get aggressive. At the very least, the Ymir and the Chiron. Great early pressure. Scylla, not quite the same. You can see it. She's facing the pressure already. Wiped away by Sexy Apollo. Thoth doing it big, and already, little girl goes back home.
Good Lord. We're not even 45 seconds into the game, and we already see First Blood suffered as Pitbull falls. And what's crazy is that everyone's throwing their predictions to them winning this game, and they're already giving up a little bit of a lead, which isn't the end of days by any means necessary, but definitely you want that lead as early as you can get it. And giving that up so quickly, that kind of sucks, and it's going to hurt this fight over here by the purple buff.
The more enclosed it gets, the more powerful that Mez becomes from the Kumbhakarna, the more dangerous that acid spray becomes, the more likely you're going to get wiped away by a final judgment. These corridors are just snipers' alleys for that Thoth. You got to make sure you're positioned carefully.
You know what I love about the difference between these two teams is we have Kumbhakarna over here on the side of Joust Knights, and Kumba doesn't have a whole lot of damage compared to other tanks, but he's got a lot of crowd control, and you're relying on Medusa and Thoth to throw out all of the damage that's missing from your tank. Keep in mind, those two gods are both more than fine if you're looking to substitute for that tank that doesn't have the damage. I think that's great. You have setup, you have a whole lot of setup with Kumba, and then you got two gods to follow up and damage. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Ymir, who does have some good amount of crowd control as well, but also has that early game damage due to the frostbite. That's a tank that definitely has some damage online. If you can get up close and you can get those club whacks off, those basics can really hurt. If you can land a good Frost Breath or a Glacial Strike, I mean, you could really turn the tides of battle with some Ymir damage.
And the desk mentioned it before, the fact that that wall, no way to get out of it at all for any of these three Joust Knights without the aid of a Phantom Shell. I'm not seeing that being picked up just yet. It's a Heavenly instead. Actually, yeah, Heavenly on the side, I believe, of that Kumba. So not gonna be quite finding that for anyone at the moment. And speaking of though that CC mentioned, the very least though, for Bruvgang, you do have that Chiron, which with that cleanse can help alleviate some of that pressure. As far as though the ebb and the flow of this game, do we anticipate that there's a moment that maybe the pressure shifts as we see a lot of pressure being applied to that Scylla? Maybe trying to reverse pressure right there, sends them into the passive for the Kumba. Unfortunately, does not get them that reset, but Pitbull already started to bite back.
I'm a monster. I mean, it's as simple as that. As soon as you hit that level 5, you've got a huge damage spike. And Scylla's known for being that late game aggressor. But if you're able to get damage like that off so early, imagine what we're going to see from Pitbull in the later parts of the game. And I'll be a little frustrated too. That's Pitbull biting back a little bit. We had just seen Pitbull fall not just a couple minutes ago. They want a bit of revenge. I don't blame them.
Good way to just make sure you're not adopting the fetus mentality early. It's best of one more. That means one and done, you're going home. You got to make sure you bring your A game. It's a sprint, no longer about the marathon. You got to just keep your mentals because one shaken member, one tilt moment could result in you losing that sweet, sweet cash.
Well, there's a lot of cash on the line here. K Money knows to throw around that money a little bit to get these players in. And we've definitely got some hot players on the field here. An Activation, a very well-known player amongst the community, as well as JDK Eddie. Etherish is how a lot of people know him. We've definitely got some big names. These are celebrities in the Joust competitive scene here.
Yeah, and you know what, More? That might be a scene that honestly a lot of people in the audience are a bit foreign to. You know, everyone maybe running those conquest queues with their 5 stacks. So what does the Joust meta look like? Might have to wait to see because right now it's looking all Scylla all day. Big 2-man on a monster wipes away the Ibis. Sexy Apollo gonna go ride the great chariot in the sky. Now looking for Eddie right now. A good crush finds the mark. Pitbull. Someone put this dog on a leash. The masterful shot takes down the gremlin. That's a quick and easy deicide 4 minutes in.
And that's exactly what the meta is right there. Get big burst mage, blow up health bar, wipe them off the map, chase down the remaining tank, kill them real quick, and then go for a big objective like this. Either you want to put some pressure on that tower, or you want to go straight for the BDK, however you want to go about it. And they've got a good comp for clearing it too. I mean, like we mentioned earlier, that damage you get from the Ymir with the Frostbite, you're able to do some decent damage on an objective even that early. Chiron and Scylla, neither got known for really clearing objectives that quickly, but they've got the damage online. I mean, they literally just made it happen. Already going back to base, going to go straight for, investing in this second item. We see the tier 1s already being invested, especially from an active Asian who's looking to get this build off quickly. Chiron needs that mana. Chiron needs that CDR, and especially that physical power. Once you have these 3 items in kit, you are going to be doing just fine and really be forking out damage, especially if you can hit those ultimates.
And especially, again, the more cooldowns you have, the more that passive is being procced, the herb kit that slowly but surely heals up the team around you. And the more you can throw out that basic training exercise to cleanse off those mezzes, cleanse off those petrifying gazes. A lot of great things about this comp that work hand in hand. Look at the damage there from the Scylla. It's not too much quite just yet, but that's a tanky target, and this little girl's gonna be spiking up in power quite soon. Tower can do nothing to defend itself. It's all up to Joust Knights to try to reverse. A bit of this pressure is slowly but surely the structure gets whittled down. Bruvgang huffing and puffing, trying to blow this Joust Knight's house down. Good freeze there. Petrifying gaze doesn't find the mark, and that tier 1 comes crumbling.
Good damage right there, especially from the Chiron too. That's what you don't expect. You see Chiron put out a decent amount of damage, you forget, oh yeah, Chiron's got that too. Let me fire that off real quick, do a hefty amount of damage, as you can see by the very low health bar from Sexy Apollo. Well, maybe not low. I mean, a couple potions will help out for sure. But Ymir, regardless, with the team not being too close or still showing aggression, but Kubo comes out.
Let's see what damage follows. A good giddy up gets him out of harm's way. I'm a monster. Still not going to bite through all that blubber. If the Sickham's a bit off the mark. Crush, different story. If only they had hit that Sickham, they would have gotten the kill. Ymir's got to stop in their tracks thanks to an evade and punish. You can see the wall just leaves a sliver for the Medusa to slither right through. That was unfortunate, but it just goes to show the power of those walls. Had it been a bit to the left, she would have been toast.
And that's what I love about the Ymir pick in Joust. There's a lot of tight corridors around here. Mainly the middle lane, or the only lane, is the only part where it's not super prevalent, but anywhere else that you're fighting on the map, you're able to wall off a path entirely. And just
Yeah.
like you said, if that wall had been adjusted just a slight amount, that would have been the end of days right there. And that's what really separates a good Ymir player from a great Ymir player. D'Lo, I feel like you're a really good judge of that too.
I was about to say, well, don't mind if I do. Diamond Ymir here in Smite 1 already got a star in Smite 2, so no big deal here, but absolutely. You got to make sure you're on point with those Ymir walls, especially because Smite 1 Ymir has no mobility. Sometimes that could be your only form of just blocking off the damage as well it's coming through. Unfortunately, though it's not really going to be caring too much about it, but it can block Acid Spray, which is obviously a very potent damaging tool. It could also just try to separate, since they don't have any ways to easily circumvent. Just curious to see what Joust Knights can do to reverse this early pressure. 8 minutes, 4-1. See the gold lead already spelling about 1,500 the way of Bruvgang. Now they're taking the aggressive posture around this red buff. Big link there from sexy moves right there. My God, that was beautiful.
What in the world is going on with Discord?
Wait, did we
Bit of
all just, what happened there?
we couple of technical difficulties there. I'm not exactly sure what's going on
Back.
Discord's end. We seemed, and we're back. 9 minutes on the board.
4-2. I mean, yeah, if y'all are paying attention, y'all saw that Thoth actually, with the wall hacks they clearly have, busted through the Discord too, broke the fabric of the entire internet. That's some impressive stuff there from Apollo.
I mean, I don't think I've seen any other player pull something off like this. Completely ruin a cast with EMP waves from the Thoth. I mean, that's huge potential right there. And if they can do that, imagine how far they're going to make it in this tournament, which we're barely getting started in. This is the first game of the entire bracket here between Bruvgang and Joust Knights. We are 9.5 minutes in, 4 kills for Bruvgang and 2 for Joust Knights. And we're seeing a bit of early aggression from Bruvgang, but I'm sure a lot of you in the audience already know these deicides can happen very quickly, and it can definitely change the tides of the battle, if not end the battle entirely. But Bruvgang going after a second BDK as Joust Knights are arriving on the horizon.
Seems that it might have just been a bait as they look for the turnaround. Don't find too much damage off the back of it. That's A-okay. Joust Knights got what they wanted, which was get Bruvgang the hell away from the objective. The battle objective secures an interesting one here, Mort. You got that final judgment up against an I'm a Monster. 2 hallmark abilities for that exact purpose.
A lot of security there. This isn't just about taking out objectives with securing, though. It's about wiping health bars off of the map and completely trashing team comps. It doesn't matter if you have an escape. It doesn't matter if you have this and that. If you're able to get deleted with the press of a single button. And both I'm a Monster and Final Judgment have that capability. That's what you love to see. And that Ymir wall just barely sliding through. Sexy Apollo sighing of relief, saying, whew, I almost just got clapped by that Ymir.
I do not want to be on the wrong side of that club, and unfortunately, Kumakarno might find himself in that exact position, uses that dash to get back to safety, but you can see it's, like you mentioned, all Bruvgang all day with the aggressive posturing, still not a lick of tower damage here for the Joust Knights. What's got to be their turnaround point? You can't just rely on Sexy Apollo's smooth moves. You got to find some moments for actual aggression.
And it all comes down to Kumakarna finding somebody who's out of position and setting that up for the team. However, Bruvgang are grouping very well. They're positioning right next to each other. I mean, just like 3 peas in a pod. They are doing what they need to do in order to not be picked off. Look at this. They're recalling in complete chemistry there. All 3 back in the base at within a second's range. That is how you coagulate as a team. That is how you demonstrate everything together and really make these things happen and find these W's. And that's why I have such high hopes for Bruvgang. Joust Knights, though, they've got a really good team comp. Whenever we were in picks and bans, I was thinking here, look at the amount of crowd control from not just Kumba, but everybody on the team. Medusa has 2 stuns. One of them is a giant AoE cone, and if it doesn't stun, it still slows. It's a heavy slow as well. Even Thoth has a stun. I mean, there's just a lot of lockdown from Joust Knights, and it makes me wonder if Bruvgang catch one hard end of crowd control and they end up getting chained from there, these team fights are not going to go nearly as well as they are right now.
You absolutely are correct that you really got to be careful with that CC. That's why that cleanse from Chiron is so important as this BDK is resumed once again. But I don't know, man. Don't sleep on the synergy here of the Bruv game. Their chemistration is on point. They back together, they eat together, or they even shower together. So, sometimes that synergy can really matter. And we're seeing it right here as they try to defend the back line. Chiron a bit of trouble with the epic uppercut. Didn't really have too much to follow up off of. Ymir going to eat a bit of poke for their troubles, but beyond that, it's just a big blink used there without too much to really show for it. JDK Eddie trying to find the Ymir off the back end, have something to come back home with. Good shards of ice, gets a bit more damage. The Phantom Shell's been expended. Can't use that for the walls, and now look at this, pinned down. Apollo can't go anywhere this time, and activation takes them down. An aggressive Sentry gets an aggressive kill. Gremlin gets put down by the Pitbull once again. This dog's got rabies. Eddie goes down as well, makes a quick deicide here for Bruvgang.
What I was thinking earlier is that we've seen everything good from Ymir so far. We've seen the amazing Frost Breath. We've seen the Glacial Strikes. We've seen everything that a great Ymir needs, except, okay, that's a great wall. I was just about to glaze up how Ymir had hit like 3 great walls back to back to back. And then you do something like that could stop your team from finding the victory. At least they're going to find the Phoenix, and that's the next best thing you could hope for.
They might look for a bit more than that, biting off a bit more than you could chew potentially, but I gotta respect them for it. Low health here on Ymir means they can't quite tank it the way they want, but I'm a monster. Might just secure the victory as Joust Knights come up only to watch their Titan fall. Bruvgang secure the victory in just 14 minutes.
And it's nothing but assist. That is how you set your team up for victory, and man, I'm a little worried if I'm anybody who has to go up against Bruvgang.
Ymir, baby, this is why this god is the best. You talked about it, man. Those corridors are deadly. It's like you're playing GoldenEye all of a sudden, and they got the golden gun.
From the Avengers, Fab Duels, Star Sample, and Modi versus Muscle Mommies, Aurora Demon, Dev, and Krishoa. We got the Yu Hung out. I did not see that coming, but if we think about Yu Hung, late game, super safe, that god just, his ult displacement goes crazy. Of course, the Kabrakan, Bacchus ban, Fafnir ban.
Big bans all around.
Absolutely.
And we can say that Yuhong ban is definitely focused around Dev here.
Oh, yeah. Can't give Dev the Yu Hung.
100%. I mean, I'm a fan of
Absolutely.
Yuhong myself. That root, that one, that burn, I mean, that ult, if you can hit everything, they're just obliterated in a matter of
Absolutely.
moments. Of course, the classic Fafnir ban. You can't let that god through. He just does too much. I mean, I'm going to tell Chad a little secret. To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of Fafnir. But ever since they made his ult over a minute long, I mean, he's just unstoppable. Let's be honest. Top Guardian.
Oh, yeah. And they made it so all these auto attack items proc on his breath now.
Insane.
Yeah, okay. Throw a demonic in there, throw a cyclopean ring, GG.
Yeah, it depends on the matchup. I've even thrown a Fatalis on him. Can't get away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, hot breath on your back.
And
How
we
you
have
gonna
the
stop
Terra
that?
hover and lock in by the Avengers. Most likely going to Star Sample.
Absolutely. Chiron and a Jing ban. Oof.
And there's
Oh.
the X Ball.
I mean, let's talk about X Ball. Such a crush god.
Do we need to talk about that god?
Yeah,
I don't know.
such
It does a little bit of damage.
I mean, the poison needles is the one with the ricochet. I mean,
Super
the 3
safe.
dash.
CC immune dash. Like,
Insane. I mean, he's one of the only gods that can turn
passive?
off the lights.
oh yeah, do it in the dark. GG.
Oh yeah, baby.
Hey yo. Well, awkward moment of silence. Hopefully, they start picking. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum,
Do you remember the days of the old
ba-da-da-da-da.
X Ball with the
Oh,
pen
when it's
base?
stunned?
Oh my god, with the stun
Oh,
in the pen? Oh my
GG,
goodness.
man.
Blue Stone? GG's. Yeah. That would be annoying. Somebody would walk
Yeah.
up to you, hit you with a basic 2, you dash you, and you lose like a third of your health, literally.
Oh yeah.
Just do it all again in 14 seconds.
You know what I've seen in the queues lately? A lot of X-Ball and Discordia because of the power passive from Discordia plus the power passive from X-Ball. And if you get a
Absolutely.
little ahead, it's just cooked. There's the Ymir lock-in.
And the walls have come to dominate this match again. I mean, Ymir, such a powerful god. I'm not quite sure why he keeps getting through, but there are so many other gods that need to be
Oh
banned.
yeah.
It's just crucial. It's crucial. It's imperative that they get these certain gods out. So I'm not mad at it, but we'll see what this Terra can do against this Ymir. I mean, how can you dash away from somebody who puts up a wall? You can't. You're just done, especially with the X ball there. We'll see though.
Absolutely.
See what the Avengers opt to pick up next. What can they pick? And there it is. The Hou Yi. He is such a good god. No CC immune ult, but I mean, he does have a massive March stun. Big leap, get away over the walls, especially if the Ymir tends to corner him there. Could also engage and solo the X ball pretty easily.
Maybe Ymir doesn't find a 100% win rate here now that we've got a character that can get over that wall. But Ymir walking up, like, you have to hold your leap on Hou Yi, and he can just get that out so easy. There's the
Uh,
Silaban. Thoth
both
Baba
Simoleons
Yaga.
are off. Mhm.
And there's the Baron. What do we think's going to be picked here, Mr. Rab, for mages?
Oof, this is going to be a tough one. I mean, there's so many good mages still available.
So
I would
much to
love to
work with.
see a few things,
Could we see
especially with,
that Discordia like I was just talking about on the X-Ball side?
I mean, you could see the X ball, you could see the Discordia on the X ball side, or you could see the Avengers pick it up. I mean, Ymir is susceptible to get rooted and just super CC locked with all of the combos that they have on the Avengers side, but who knows? Who knows what's coming next? E shell. Mm, mm, mm.
Now, you know, how you kill a Ymir when you got the rainbow?
You have the rainbow, but you also have the follow up. I mean, you get a Ymir freeze off. They're CC locked, rooted, knocked up. You get a big ult off, and Ymir just W keys with the wall. I mean, it's a nasty, nasty combo, especially if the lights go off.
Oh yeah.
And there it is. That's the
There's the
Discordia
Discordia.
pick we were looking for right there.
All right,
Oof.
ladies and gentlemen, prediction is up. The Avengers versus Muscle Mommies. Cast your votes now. 3 minutes to go.
What are we thinking about in terms of team comps here, K Money? Which way do you see this going?
I think I don't want to be a Terra this game because that wall goes up and you got an X-Pawn and Eggshell.
Absolutely. That's on the defensive side. But think about the engagement side now.
Oh
If you're any
yeah.
of the enemies on the other side and you get locked down by a Terra, there's so much follow up. How do you
Oh
escape that?
yeah. I don't know. This Discordia poke, this Hou Yi poke looking pretty good. You know, Eggshell's got some nice poke here too. X-Ball's got a little poke.
Absolutely. There's good poke all around. There's no ult from the X ball necessarily that will combo with this. I mean, it does give him range, which is perfect if the Ymir gets to engage. But I mean, on the defensive side, that ult's gonna do nothing. Terra lockdown with the root, the stun, the whole E follow up. If they're together and the Discordia hits the strife, I mean, anybody, any person or any set of people on the enemy team can be done in a matter of moments.
Like I said, kill or be killed.
It'll be killed. And we know both of these teams play super aggressive. So I'm interested to see who takes the majority of the map and who can dominate the other team.
Oh yeah. All right. I believe we're ready to go over to in game for game number 2 with Delo and Mullet casting and Tess on the cam.
Thank you very much there, K Money and Rob. Just like they said it, I'm D'Lo, joined here by the Morton Man. We got Tess Almighty, Eye in the Sky. This is Joust Tournament KO. $50 on the line. Avengers up against a real Avengers level threat. Muscle Mommies. Mort, how we feeling?
Couldn't have said it better myself there. Muscle Mommy's Avengers level threat. These are two big teams, 6 big names going up against each other for the quarterfinals of the traditional Joust tournament. Very excited to see what's going to be boiling down here. And D'Lo, take a look. We got another Ymir in.
Man, it is my lucky day. I mean, it's what the desk talked about, the fact that these walls, and what you mentioned in-game as well, they're potent. And there are things to worry about on this comp. Talk to me about this Discordia, because I feel like it both does well against the Ymir and also struggles against the Ymir at the same time.
He does have a lot of good early game damage. With the Discordia, you have burst damage early, especially benefiting from that conduit gem starting out. Then you have good scaling going into the late game. If you pick up the right combination of items, you're going to be hitting real hard. And even a tank like Aurora's Ymir is not going to be able to withstand that damage, much less the Ixchel or the Xbalanque here. There's a lot to love about having that much damage. Let's not even forget about the range that you get from Discordia. You're able to sit so far back. Take a look at how far back they are. Meanwhile, Terra's getting into the thick of it.
Fortunately, that root's a bit off the mark, but that's the tool that Rob mentioned. If you can abuse Aurora's low mobility on this god, you stand to be in a good spot. At the same time, that apple can easily be blocked by those walls, so you got to make sure keeping that cooldown in mind as well. Dancing around that wall, Avengers try to retreat back. They do have that sustain on both sides, thanks to those Terra monoliths and those Ixchel Moonlight invocations. So at the very least, these fights are going to be pretty long and drawn out. I'm not sure what's going to be the breaking point, because so far, a minute down, and no one's died yet. It's a change of pace from last game.
What is going to be that breaking point here is in about 20 seconds, we're going to see the first damage buff spawn. And that's when things are really going to get hectic, because having control over that damage buff is really going to determine who's poking out who in lane. Is Discordia going to grab that buff and start hitting hard? Or is it going to be potentially Xbalanque who can start really hammering away at health bar should that Terra decide to step up a little bit? But spawn, you can see Muscle Mommies retreat back over, heading that way to try and take it before Avengers even realize it. And wham, bam, thank you. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, they didn't
they
take
got
care of
it.
it. Nobody
They
just
got
picked it up. Huh. Okay.
Interesting strategy. Just trying to show we could have done it, but instead we're not gonna. Might regret that, as you could use the damage now. Beads expended there by the X-Ball to ensure their safety. That's gotta feel a bit unfortunate, but I don't know. Maybe if you had this nice little caressing red buff around your waist, you'd be in a better spot. I'm really surprised that the Avengers kind of gave that up. They had the ultimate economy advantage. They decided to just give him a bit of space, and unfortunately, give him a bit too much rope, and you might hang yourself with it. Now Avengers trying to poke from the side here, and that's what that monolith allows you to do. Great area control.
Got a lot of AoEs in mind too. You're able to fort these abilities over the wall and get some good damage out. That's why I like Ixchel. Ixchel has so much range and so much AoE. She's able to really control areas and tight corridors that can really work well with that Ymir wall, locking off those corridors. Another thing too, if they don't pick up that red buff, it sucks. It's not the end of days though. It's not the worst thing, and I'll tell you why. It's that XP and that gold that is pretty hefty,
True.
especially when it comes to the fact that there's not that many buffs. I mean, obviously there's a yellow and a blue that are on each side, but that's shared XP. I'm not really counting that. There's two big ones that really help you out in benefiting levels. There's that red buff, which also brings a good buff to the table, and then that purple on the side, which is a little bit harder to get to, but still definitely benefits. But they're able to control that level lead, which isn't massive as of yet. I'm sure they got a little more XP in pocket, but when they start getting a couple red buffs, a couple purple buffs, it'll really be obvious, and the Avengers will have a hard time fighting off Muscle Mommies.
Well, no hard times fighting, because no one's really fighting at all. When it comes to just like the plans, the battle strategies, what's the win con of each team? What's their game plan in terms of how they want to see themselves succeed?
The thing is, you have to be confident in your fight, and part of that is making sure that someone is selected out. If you're a Muscle Mommies, you want to isolate that Huyi, you want to isolate that Disco. But the problem with that is neither of them can be locked out by the Ymir wall.
True.
Both of those are huge escapes. So I'm assuming that Fadul and Modi decided they tuned in on game one. They saw how amazing the Ymir pick was and how those walls were really threatening for Joust Knights. They weren't able to handle the Ymir wall because they had no type of leap. They had dashes, but they didn't have leaps. What's the response to that? Discordia, who can go through walls with her leap dash invis thing. I don't really know the exact term for it. And Huyi, who can just jump right over them. But they're fighting over the second buff here.
They're fighting the Terra, though. That's the tankiest target. Earth and Fear going to be the response. Great end as well. The Suns begin to drop down, and Ymir's going to be the first one to fall. Fat Duel gets a fat little kill on their side. Avengers take first blood.
not having that damage on board just yet. And part of it is because you see Krishoa has that that item that gives you more speed on your thank you, Tess. Griffin
Those beautiful earwings.
It's
Looking
been a
great.
while. I've been caught up on SMITE too. I'm coming back a little bit. Griffin wings, it hurts your damage potential in the early game. You don't have any physical penetration. The physical power is a little bit lower than some of the items in comparison. You don't have as much hard hitting damage with the Griffin wings. Now, if you wanted to go for something a little more damage heavy, that could really make a difference, but you're not going to be slanging basics and completely melting health bars just yet if you're Kershaw. You need to get a couple more items online. Maybe even just 2 would make a big difference here.
Sure, you're not going to be doing much damage with the Griffin earrings, but you do look absolutely adorable. I mean, those things are just so cute. Yeah, let's get a nice little hover on those. Come on, you
Like
got to
that.
imagine that matches with like the headdress. Like they're coming dripped out, and sometimes that's what matters more: drip or drown. So far, though, the Avengers that are treading water, muscle mommies, are the ones in trouble of sinking beneath the tides. Good route there, no damage to follow. That wall can also be used as a good defensive option to block any incoming ricochets starting to head their way. And that's been the issue, is that this backline's been doing a great job. You mentioned it, the positioning of Discordia and the Huiyi. They can both stay very far out of range, and that really only presents the Terra as an option to attack, and that's one tanky muscle mommy.
Here's a good question, Dilo. If you're the Shibalanke, are you... Oh, that's a lot of damage. If you're the Shibalanke, are you putting those Griffin Wing earrings on your ears, or are you putting them on the lion skin that you're wearing? The ears
Ooh!
above that? You could put the Griffin Wings on there. I don't know. That might be kind of fly.
One for each, I feel like. That way everyone gets to be stylish. You know, fashion is a human right and a Jaguar right too, so we can't make sure to deny them that as well. Look at that. You mentioned it. The damage is good, but they can just heal it right back up thanks to that monolith. That's the issue. Gotta force it a bit more. Unfortunately, Ymir gonna be forced back to the grayscale. Aurora just cannot find an opening except for the chest cavity being opened by these Huiyi basics.
And that's exactly what Joust is about right there. You only have 3 ults on your team, so you need to put them together to really make these things happen. You don't have 5 ults like all the other game modes to work with and make things happen. You have to work with the other 2 ultimates that you have chained together. And what we just saw from Avengers is what you need to have. That's that chemistry, that teamwork that is necessary. It's only 3 of you in there, so you got to work with what you have, and they're not treating it as working with what you have. They're happy. They're in a luxurious space. Look at the damage that they're putting out. Look at the fact that, I mean, we got 2 kills on the board already. Things are looking good for Avengers.
7 minutes here, 2-0, like you say, in 1,500 gold lead to their name as a consequence. The issue is, I just don't know how they close the gap. They don't really have great ranged poke from the muscle mommies. You got a bit on Ixchel, but Lunar Invocation has a bit of cast up winding time before you can really find the actual damage. Whereas Discordia can just throw out that unruly magic. Hoi can just wing out ricochets. And there's really no consequence for it. How do muscle mommies close the gap?
Here in about 7 minutes, we're going to see, or no, actually, it's already up. I forgot they changed the time. BDK is going to come alive. And once they find at least 1, hopefully 2 picks on Avengers, or if they're even just not looking, they decide to go back to base together, that's when Shibalanke, Grishoa, once the damage is online as well as the lifesteal, Shibalanke is one of those gods that can solo BDK. And oh my God.
I don't think we got to worry about that objective, because right now this Huiyi is taking on everyone. Look at these ricochets. The sun's come crashing down. Modi steals the kill. That's just rude. Huiyi did more than half the work, but I guess Disco can get a nice participation trophy. 3 kills here for the Avengers. They're not looking to stop quite yet either. Ixchel through the wall casts out some nice rainbow flash damage, but might have invited an unwanted guest. Discordia comes crashing through. Going to go down and trade mage for mage at the very least. Muscle mommies are on the board. But now Avengers can start to look once again for this tower. They wander right through. They're just walking like they own the place.
Modi, I'm not gonna lie, kind of feeling himself there. That was a pretty ballsy play, to say the least, and it didn't pay off. But it is what it is. Even that lack of results, it's still showing. Hey, we run the place around here. You got lucky, pal. Just wait until I spawn back up. I get a little more items on me, and then we go back at it again. You're not going to be so lucky. I like that aggression from the Avengers. And to comment on what you said earlier about that kill steal. Is it really stealing, or is it securing because you're a team that works together? That's what the Avengers are. The Avengers movie, I mean, they might have had their own movies. You know, they all had their own little spin-offs and TV shows and this and that. But overall, they're a team. They're a huge team, as we saw in Infinity War. They're a massive team that all work together to take down a common threat, which we, the Avengers level muscle mommies. So they're working good. They're working as a team, and I love to see these teammates come together. Even though there's only 3 of them, that's still just enough to get the job done.
I mean, you're talking about Infinity War. Did you forget Civil War at the same time? That was also a big movie, so you got to make sure that you're still getting along just fine. Purple buff and red both secured here by the Avengers. This SMITE is looking a bit tight and confined. Hope you're not claustrophobic between the monoliths and the walls. Muscle mommies might be feeling a bit of anxiety. They back out, recognizing that's not really their fight to win. Because look at the level disparities here, Mort. Everyone on Muscle Mommies is behind.
Here's the thing that I'm seeing right now. They're looking to go, both teams are going for late game, and here's why. Discordia, level 20, absolutely hammering with that Big Apple, with that huge one. Huge damage that can come from Discordia once they get their full build. But the same thing applies to Krishoa. Shibalanke is a late game god predominantly. And the longer that you let these 2 gods sit and slowly boil over, eventually the pot's going to start a fire. And that fire is going to be Krishoa and Modi. These are 2 players that you need to keep your eyes on as we get later into the game.
I'm just hoping that we can feed some kills to the Jaguar. They certainly are hungry, and that's a big part of why X-Ball can do late game damage. If you feed that passive, you start stacking it up, then we're in a good position. But again, we just can't find the range. We can't find the damage. Good wall blocks the apple. And that's a great aspect of that matchup that we touched on earlier. But what does that really gain you? 50 more seconds of respite? These ricochets still hit just like an ultimate. Does not matter.
Wait a minute. You didn't even comment on the fact that Discordia can get blocked off by the Ymir wall. Is this a tech that even the mighty Dilo didn't know about?
I literally did. You're just not listening. Is the
Can't
mighty
recall.
Mort deaf? Hearing aid. That's a new item you need. And right now, Ymir's going to need more health pots because they're in danger once again. Eating that unruly magic forces the Jaguar back tier 1 tower. Does go down the ricochet. My God, Fat Duel put that one in the MLG clip. Phoenix might just be next.
Phoenix is definitely getting chipped away at here, but Ymir is still in the area who might be falling if they overstep just about, and they say, screw the Phoenix, we want to kill instead. Star Sample is going to be taking a kill there and getting chased down over on the corridor, but Shibalanke has something to say about it.
Nice. 1v1 just isolates that Hoi Yi the right moment. You mentioned it. Isolate, eliminate. They did so following the back of that fight. You had a bit of a dent in the health bar of Thought Duel. Krishoa finally gets a bit of momentum on their side. The Phoenix stays alive. They might look to try to put Terra in the ground, but a nicely well-placed wall quickly puts a stop to those schemes. At 12 minutes just about, 6-2. Avengers with a nice 2,000 gold lead.
It might seem a little bit early compared to the Conquest counterpart, but here in Joust, we're approaching the 13-minute mark, which is the mid to late game. And here's the theme when it comes to this portion of the game: violence and timing. It is those 2 things put together that will absolutely make sure that you walk away with the W.
Absolutely. And for Friends of the Avengers, violence is always well-timed. They're doing a good job just really taking any fight and making the best of it. Also, mommies, for their credit, still remaining aggressive. They're not turtling, no sirree. They're trying to find some isolated instances in these corridors, but the Avengers are not chomping at the bit. I know with the desk, and even us at the beginning of the game were a bit afraid of these walls, but clearly the Avengers are showing there's no need to worry.
No need to worry. I mean, think about it. Iron Man can fly. Hulk, I've seen in the movies, jump like a million feet into the air and then land back on the ground and smash the wall. Captain America, I mean, I might be screwed, not gonna lie. I don't know about that one.
Oh, that is not looking good for my buddy the Ymir. Someone call Captain Marvel quick. I need a bit more backup as the Avengers are going to try to look for him. Or call Thanos, I guess. I don't know. Snap these guys out of existence. Doesn't quite matter. The Avengers have their eyes on a bigger prize, that BDK. Also, mommies form around. They've taken their creatine. They've got their supplements in order. Now they're going to try to see if they can contest. But I don't know if they're the best to really take on the rest, the Avengers. Decide to just leash the objective, trying to see if they can bait them in, and decide that it's not really worth all the hassle. They're going to back off too.
Yeah, I don't know when this. I mean, the objectives are here. The objectives are ready to go, and I mean, they're both playing a little scared here. I would be scared too. If I was on the field and facing either one of these teams, I'd be a little worried. I wouldn't be confident just waltzing into these objectives and taking them without worrying about the other team showing up. but the timing just feels weird. But look, they're all three going back to base. This could be a sign. Oh, you stopped the back. Come on. That would have been good timing for that BDK.
Man, that would have been a good time to kill the Hoi Yi. He's just too slippery. And that's what Rob also mentioned, the fact that you got that leap. And what you mentioned too, just the evasiveness of this backline seems damn near impassable to catch up on. You have the Soul Gem, you got some speed on your side, but Ixchel's by no means the most mobile god. And you don't really want to use that Rising Jaguar on the X-Ball to do anything but retreat either. So I'm just really unsure of how they initiate a fight on their terms. It's been the Avengers deciding it every time. Once again, putting up that BDK, but it's all a ruse, trying to bait in muscle mommies with promise of muscle milk. The Avengers, though, going to prove that it's poison as they see the Discordia wraps on the backside. Apple goes a bit wide. Hold on, big shot. Decent damage there, puts him at half health. Erratic behavior and the Darkest of Nights going to force the Avengers to back off. No bloodshed quite just yet.
That's exactly what I was talking about. That boiling in the pot when it comes to Discordia scaling into the late game. When you get to this point, when you have 4 items and that conduit gem, let's compliment that. Look at that health bar. It gets snapped in half from one. I mean, it was an ultimate ability given, but one ability did that. Imagine what would happen if Discordia used the rest of the combo, but the fight's unfolding.
Oh, this could be dangerous work as you see the great end used for heals and damage alike, but the latter's not really showing big numbers. The beads expended off the X-Ball. They turn back looking for a fight. Seems Discordia wants it, and X-Ball has to reconsider. Gonna eat quite a bit of damage from the gleaming beads of light. But in the meantime, this Demon King is being taken on. It's at low health, less than a quarter. Muscle Mommy steal it away. Fantastic objective robbery. The Avengers gotta try to find someone to pin the crime on.
Just like the Incredibles versus the Underminer. I mean, he went in, he took what he wanted, and he got out. And that's exactly what Muscle Mommies just did. Just takes a stray ability, a couple basics, something along those lines, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That is our Bull Demon King. Your tower is now disabled, and we have the upper hand. We might not be able to fight 100% every team fight that we get in, but should a fight go in our way, we can take that tower. No problems. No questions asked, especially with Krishoa, who's got 5 items online already. Yeah, I'm worrying a little bit if I'm one of the Avengers.
The big utility is also the fact that they just don't have to worry about their Phoenix now either, because you knew that if Avengers took that, they would certainly be bringing the fight to their Bird's home base. Now you got some time of respite. You got some time, like you said, to try to find those fights. I'm not going to lie to you more. 17 minutes here, 6-2. Got still about 1,000 gold lead here for the Avengers. I'm still remaining unsure of how Muscle Mommies decisively start a fight on their own terms without getting lured in.
Hey, it's not about starting a fight. It's about finding a pick, and that's what leads to a fight. Because up against these 3, there's not a whole lot of situations where it's like, yeah, we completely win the fight. It's just a 3-man Ymir Frostbreath, and then the rest of them melt health bars. A 3-man Ymir Frostbreath is like a super 1% chance of happening, and it would be a good way. But they need to find a pick. It's going to be hard to lock down Discordia, but she can jump over the Ymir wall, which means you have to try and catch her with a Frost Breath. Damn near impossible. Same thing goes for Hu Yi. He can jump right over the wall, so you're going to have to blink or do something crazy to get to that point. Terra might be the smartest opportunity, and I only say that because she doesn't have a way to get over the wall, and Krishoa can melt health bars. Look at the build. We have the dominance already on. We have the Xe. You're going to be able to evaporate that Terra's health bar should she be locked in place for anywhere near 3 seconds. Muscle Mommies need to find the tank, and then the 2 squishies are just open for grabs.
Find the tank and then begin to spank seems to be the plan, but the Avengers are looking to deal out some punishment of their own, still aggressing onto this bird. BDK or no, you guys are going down. The ricochets find the mark once again, a bit of extra poke just to remind the Ymir who's boss. Avengers decide that it's a bit fruitless of an endeavor. Once again, they're luring them. They've separated themselves, but it seems to be all on purpose. I love the wiliness here of their backline. They recognize the fact that Terra is not a very appealing target. So Discordia is just trying to bait someone in to see if they want to bite at that apple.
That apple does not look so good if you're a member of Muscle Mommies. I mean, that is the poisonous apple. That's the apple that Adam and Eve were worried about, and Eve ended up taking a bite anyway, and here we are today. But the Avengers, I mean, good Lord. We've got a lot of dominance on the table here. We've got a lot of pressure, and Muscle Mommies are scared. They are shaking in their boots, worried about how in the world do we handle this threat. But maybe, just maybe, they might find their opportunity over here by this BDK.
Seems that they might be taking the aggressive posturing this time around. The Suns are a really great secure tool there for the Hoi. They did back off, and maybe if they had the foresight to recognize that they could have begun the objective. Instead, we just all agree to back at once. It's going to make it a fight that's fair once they decide to reach that point. I'm really, truly at a loss in that sense because Modi and Fatul recognize their jobs. They stay back. Terra is not only tanky though, Mort. They got the sustain. That makes it so much harder if that Earthen Fury is in pocket. It's just got to be a bait and punish game here by Muscle Mommies, but it's Avengers doing all the baiting. Let's see if they dole out some punishment. Good root there on top of the Amir. The darkness there to instantly react. Saves them a bit of pressure, but unfortunately now loses them a huge ultimate. And like you said, Mort, you only got 3 of those in total. 2 left. Means they could be in trouble. BDK already being dropped down to about half health. Ymir being turned to as the point of aggression. The Avengers just really trying to bait in Muscle Mommies, but at this point they have to know their game.
It's very, very hard. I mean, Muscle Mommies don't want to give up that objective for free, but at the same time, they don't want to get lowered. So it's about showing presence. It's about showing the fact that we are here should you try something. No, we're not really looking for a fight per se, but we're here. Amazing bounce there. I mean, holy crap, Ymir.
Nice job. I mean, it's what we talked about, the fact that you have this aspect. You die by the Discordia Ymir matchup, and you live by it too. A very fast reaction saves Muscle Mommies a lot of undue pain. And that just means the Avengers feel like they've lost their trump card. They back off once again.
And here's the thing. This is why everyone's being so skeptical. Because this this next fight will be your last fight. Should this be a 3-man deicide, that is the end of the game for whoever gets that deicide. There are going to be some very long death timers because we're already approaching the 22-minute mark. There's no way that a Tower of Phoenix and a Titan live through 60 seconds of just unprotected minions and 3 hangry gods just going at it. There's just no way. So you need to be very careful that the next fight goes your way. You want that picture-perfect initiation and that super amazing damage and these abilities that never miss and always hit, but it's going to be hard, man. I mean, especially with this kind of anxiety on the horizon. I mean, the pressure, it's just in the air. You can smell it. You can feel it. I mean, we're breathing it right here, right now. The intensity between these two teams, knowing that if things go wrong for us, that's the end of the game. The early aggression, the 6 kills compared to the 2, it doesn't matter because if you get decided, the game's over. A lot of pressure here.
Absolutely. Purple buff. Gonna at least alleviate a bit of that by giving the Avengers something to distract themselves with. They take it down without too big of an issue. Small advantage in the coming fight. If there is one to come, 23 minutes. 6-2. We're approaching near double the time that last round 1 game took. And it's because, like you said, these teams recognize the fact that, hey, next fight may very well be the last. Let's make sure it's set on a foundation we like. And neither team has really found it. You did see the Discordia trying to flank a little bit during the Avengers' last attempts at luring in Muscle Mommies with that BDK. And now Muscle Mommies really are quite aware, privy to the plans, and it's still the Avengers trying to surge forth, trying to solve all the mayhem in the world and put rights to their wrongs. It's Hoi starting up this BDK once again. They know Muscle Mommies are aware, but do they have a care? Yes, they do. The Avengers leash it again.
This is great.
Someone
like
kill someone!
It's been like 20 minutes till we've seen a kill.
Bro dashed out.
God.
Come on, guys. All right, this is at this point a peaceful Minecraft server. We're all just, gonna farm some diamonds, I guess. I see 3 on each side. You make a pickaxe out of that. Go fight the Ender Dragon, maybe. Probably be peaceful with him, too. Discordia's on the front lines, trying to find some damage through that Ymir wall. I mean, I don't even know. I really have no clue when the tension pops. Finally, BDK pulled, but you gotta imagine it's gonna leash it again. Hoigi brings it down to a bat half. Muscle Mommies make a foray forward. Instantly, once again, the Darkest of Nights, the apple, goes off the mark, and we're back to square one.
Oh, dude. I can't handle this. This is just somebody kill somebody. You know what? The strategy here for either team is to wait for the enemy team to get bored and then just go for an objective, and then you punish them for it. That's really the strategy here. I don't.
Wait till the
know.
muscle mommies inevitably have to go to the bathroom because all their supplements like shrunk their bladders to the size of a squirrel's. And then once someone's got to go to the potty, then we take our revenge. Yes, obviously. The Avengers really playing the long game here, 25 minutes in.
How much longer can this game get?
Don't ask
It's
that
good.
question.
Oh, come on. I don't want to jinx us here, but it's intense. Like I'm happy that we've lasted this long, that we've gotten to this point. But the points here, this is the climax. This is the top of the roller coaster. And the only thing that gets higher is that Titan falling. But we've been sitting at the top for so long. I'm starting to get what's the term for
Altitude
seasick?
sickness.
Yeah, there you go. That's smart
got
guy
you.
here. Dr. D'Lo.
Dude, I wish the doctor would prescribe some death to any one of these 6 fools on the field right now, but the Avengers, I thought it's Batman who doesn't kill. Come on, Avengers, like, do some work, please. Remember Sokovia? Didn't have any problem killing all those... No. Sokovia was the Avengers. Didn't have any problem killing hundreds of innocents, but can't kill 3 people trying to kill you, apparently. No, that goes against our moral code. Discordia could be in a bit of trouble here on their own. Or sorry, that's actually the Terra. I can't even tell. My vision's going blurry. I am seeing red, and I'm hoping that someone's going to end up dead.
Well, he's just there. There we go. Good son. No, you're wow. I mean, they're just teams that are so good defensively. God damn it.
Dude, I'm not even rooting for like a team. I'm just rooting for people to drop. All right? I feel like I'm entering sociopathy as like my empathy is slowly waning and my care for human or I guess godly life is just drained away. At this point, I just want to see blood.
Dude, I'm about to crash out on this freaking cast, dude. It's been going on for like 20 minutes. We've not seen one kill. Could somebody just swing at somebody and let's see some goddamn blood? Good lord.
Please, I beg of you. 27 minutes. 6-2. 3,000 gold lead here for the Avengers, but at this point, we are full build. We are completely set up. It's only going to mean 3K pots from this point forward. And we're not even considering the BDK. Everyone's just giving it up. At this point, we're just seeing how much minion damage we can stack up.
Come on, there's no way.
There absolutely is a way. And we're seeing it. Oh, Lord. All right. It's got to start somewhere, and I do think it's still the Avengers. It's their responsibility. It's on their shoulders because muscle mommies are playing scared this entire time. I know they say the bravest job is being a mother, but these suckers are proving me wrong. They are cowardly. Fight them, muscle mommies. Go!
All right. I'm out of solutions here. I'd like to think as a SMITE analyst, I'd like to know, okay, this is their picture perfect team fight. This is why they need to fight, but it's been this back and forth for so long, and this is how the game mode of Joust works. Eventually, it comes to this point where somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to step out of line and do it successfully, or they get punished and it costs them the game.
We're doing something, and there's the Darkest of Nights and the Earth and Fury. Hold on, they're sticking around for the fight. We might actually have some action here. BDK wants to get in on it. He's hungry for it too. Now it's the Avengers running for their lives. A great end finds a death. Take that, Star Sample. I'm sorry, you didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted someone to go down. Muscle Mommies, take that fight. Will they actually get anything off it? That might be a different story.
Okay, finally, we've seen one, but here's the thing. The problem here is that Modi is still alive, and who can blow up those 2 squishy health bars? Modi. I think that they're not 100% set on the track to win, but the odds are pretty good considering Star Sample is going to be out for another 30 seconds, and they are already approaching the Phoenix.
Ooh, Apple, though, falls on top of the head of the Mirror. Good Aegis immunes that damage. That Phoenix gets burned away. 20 more seconds before the Terror rises back up, and Muscle Mommies need to grasp this opportunity. They recognize it, but have no minions to back them up. Gonna be healed up a bit by the Lunar Invocation. They're going in aggressive. Discordia in the midst of their own invisibility. Hold on, Fat Duel takes down Krishoa. Those earrings were plucked off their corpse. Fat Duel gets exploded. Aurora goes down. Modi finishes off Dev. It's the deicide. At the end of the day, chaos reigns. Discordia on top.
And finally, we see that bloodbath that we've been lusting for, that huge amount of kills that ends the game. And here it is, that 3-man deicide. All 3 members of Muscle Mommies have fallen as Modi and Star Sample are approaching that Phoenix. And it looks like it's going to be the end of game. Should those minions hurry up already?
Please, I beg of you. Yeah, Terra recognizing, all right, we gotta go. We gotta go. I'm truthfully, I'm a bit worried that they might not be able to get to it if Krishoa spawns quickly enough. Obviously, not having a carry makes it a lot harder to grind through those structures. Titan, different story. 9 more seconds for Krishoa, though. Ultimate up for Modi, saving that if the X-Ball starts to try to cause a fuss. Earth in Theory as well. It's dropped down to half. Krishoa's back in. The lights are turned off. Trying to finish the job. Not quite enough, Krishoa. As the Avengers finally take vengeance and take the game.
Shout out the Avengers. Tess, play the music. Dun, dun, dun,
Ta-da.
with a W, and what a performance. I mean, it must have been it was a long one for sure, but their investment paid off, especially when Modi locked in there at the very end.
I don't know what stat. Can we see minion damage, I guess? That's the only stat I really care about right now. Hold on, let's see how much minion damage. Look at Factual! What are we doing? Oh, look at Modi! It's even more. Oh my god. This is disgusting. This is actually disgusting. All these people should be locked up. The Avengers really do need restrictions. Restrictions from allowing our games.
And here we go. Waterbugs versus the Avengers. Once again with these beautiful colors. We got a Tire 7. Banana Splitter, which is Taco and Kato. And against Fab Duel, Sample Star, and the one and only Modi. Putting on an absolute show last game.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to this next round of matchup. I mean, again, some top tier players all in all, and you're going to see some really strong bands. The usual Guardians that you usually see getting taken out. Strong picks like Fafnir, Kabrakan, and there's that Sobek we were talking about prior to this game. We still have yet to see Sobek come up in this game. Everyone just knows how crucial of a Guardian that is, especially late game.
Absolutely. We've seen Bacchus banned a lot. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. Rob?
I'm a big fan of Bacchus myself. Bacchus can be used in several manners. I mean, if you have on the enemy team where there's a lot of CC, you always have that option of getting Absolution. That's a lifesaver for your team. You can engage heavily with the burp, the belly flop, and just a little bit of healing and his ultimate in itself. I mean, just making the entire team drunk. That allows that moment for your team to truly engage on the enemies, and they're not able to do anything at all.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we have the Ymir lock in. Let's go. There's that Ymir once again.
Big walls. They're trying to make the difference in this tournament like they did last with the walls.
What's up, Infinite Sunset? What's up, Meeks? I hope you guys are having a great evening, enjoying the show.
Absolutely.
The Avengers taking a lot of time to think what they want to do here. Ahuyi hover.
I've got my eye on you.
There it is.
What's up, Zeus? What's up, Vladdy?
Big
And
counter.
Ahuyi's locked in.
See if the water bugs can control the game differently.
Obey my
The
Oh!
Ymir,
Look at that. Mr. Rob T's favorite mage right there.
one of my favorites indeed. Yu Hong, the Hung Master himself. I mean, the 3,
Hey, yo.
super safe, CC immunity. The 2, big roots. The 1, shredding prots, burning them. The ult gives them CC immunities, pulls the team together, clashes them, just destroys them. And then you have the basic kit, which gives them like a Odibo base proc. Water bugs
Medusa
getting
locked
them.
in.
What do you think about that
Big
Medusa
burst
Ymir?
damage from that Medusa. Huge, just poke, good wave clear. You know, pretty safe unless you're playing against double tank, which we're not going to see here, I don't think. Diving the Medusa, unless maybe we see a tank Huyi jumping in, but that's not happening. You got this huge burst, you got anti-heal, just so much to work with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Crazy, absolute sensational follow-up off the Ymir.
And the big counter bands. I mean, the Ganesh able to. The Ganesh is a strong pick here. I mean, Ganesh just shuts Ymir up, can dash through Ymir's walls, can also lock down Medusa for a while. I mean, that ult in itself, countering with the Ho Yi or even the Yu Hong, you can inflict massive damage on multiple enemies at one time. Such a good band there.
It seems like the Avengers know about the secret pick, the Zhong.
Oh yeah. They've
That
got
can just
no
be
chance
just go so
now,
many
brother.
ways. And a Maui pickup by the Avengers, a great reactive guardian, a great setup guardian, super safe. You know, you land that pull and that brother gone.
That brother's gone indeed. I mean, you don't see Maui much, but when you see him, you know he's in the game. From getting pulled to getting big CC ulted, like you see yourself just wailing in the air, and then you never know what's coming next. I like
And
that the water bugs opt to get the Changa here for a big counter.
oh yeah, super safe into the Maui. And now you got this blink chonga. It's super kill or be killed. You know, it looks like Waterbug is gonna be like, all right, you ready to kill them? And then bam, they don't even know what hit them.
Literally, in a blink of an eye. A blink Changa is just one of the most deadly things to face, especially as a mage. Like
Oh
I said,
yeah,
Yuhong super safe, but you can't do anything when you get blink alted.
let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Semifinals, here we go. Waterbugs versus the Avengers. We're gonna throw it over in game to D'Lo, the Mort, and Tess on Cam.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joust tournament. Are we on camera right now? Hold on. Tess?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think we're waiting on the game to start. I don't know if they've started the game yet.
My
All right,
bad.
they haven't started the game. One
I'm back
second.
to the
One
Shadow Realm.
second. Technical difficulties. I jumped the gun. That's on me. Classic Kmon. GG.
And Money, talk a little bit about how you think this game is going to go all in all based on these gods and their
Hmm.
kits.
I think we can see some insane poke from Yu Hong here and Hu Yi, and like some great setup from Maui. But all it takes is a good wall, and I don't know. I'm thinking Chong is gonna play those angles, wait for that moment, and then it's over. I don't know. It could go either way.
I
Alrighty, and ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Semifinals. Take it away.
There we go. Would you look at that? We're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joust tournament semifinals. Waterbugs up against the victors. We just saw the Avengers coming up after a lengthy battle. Me and Mort just came off of a lengthy break. Well deserved, if you ask me. Tess Almighty Eye in the Sky once again. Morta, Ymir on the field. How we feeling about that?
Concerned. I'll tell you why.
Me too.
I wanted this to be brought up here in the picks and bans phase. Let's take a look at their engage. I don't love the team fight from Waterbugs because with a god like Changa, you need to get in there and get dirty. You need to get in the thick of it, the nitty gritty. Ymir isn't exactly the best god to do these setups, especially when you have two characters such as Modi's Yohung and the Hu Yi from Fabdul that will hop over the wall. The wall is now obsolete, mainly because Ymir was first picked here. A little bit concerned about that one. I mean, I would much rather have maybe a Geb or somebody else to really set up a huge ult as opposed to relying on that wall to cut people off. And then it just doesn't go your way because they can just hop on over. I don't know. It looks like Waterbugs got counterpicked really well here. But if they walk away with a W, that is a huge flex.
I gotta agree with you in the sense that you kind of have the same issue we encountered with the muscle mommies. There's no blink for the Emir, so there's no obvious engage to level 12 when you get that second relic, and even then, it's not guaranteed they grab that. And the Avengers have learned their lesson. They no longer want to be blocked by the Ymir wall, so what do? They grab that Yu Huang, who not only has the evasion, but has an ultimate that goes through the walls instead of being ricocheted off it. So that's some really smart adaptations here from their side.
That makes me concerned how the fights are going to be going for Waterbugs, or I should say the Avengers. Or water. Okay, I had it right the first time. I'm concerned how
got it.
things are going to be going for Waterbugs because the Avengers counterpicked very well. But they also have that poke on board. That's what both Yohung and Hu Yi are good at. They're good at getting that damage off from a distance. But Waterbugs, oh!
Blown the F up. Modi gets shotgunned down thanks to a good petrifying gaze on top of that waxing crescent dance. Waterbugs managed with that combination of ultimates find themselves a first blood. Might find themselves a second one, too. Ice Shards are charging. Maui going to be dropping right back inside. A couple more basics. Finish the job. Gato gets the kill. Good ricochet puts them down. Fatul, no stranger to shaving some ice shards off of the Frost Giant. Makes it 2-1 favor of Waterbugs.
2-1 and a free damage buff. Nice. That is a huge benefactor when it comes to getting that early snowball started. You want to have this early damage on your side so you can easily go for these fights. But take a look. They're getting a little aggressive here, maybe going for that blue buff steal.
Dangerous work here on their side, but doesn't seem like they're going to be able to. No, they did. They found the steal. The Avengers actually managing to rob some crucial gold away from the Waterbugs. It must be noted that one thing the Waterbugs do have that no longer is an even keel situation, sustain. That Chang'e is going to keep them nice and healed up, whereas Avengers don't really have any reliable means of keeping themselves in a long battle of attrition.
Counterpoint to that, I don't mean to, call you out here, but 2 health chalices. Not as good as a Chang'e heal. Still nice, though. Still better than nothing. Could be a couple of disposable potions. I mean, a chalice definitely helps out in a situation like this. And I'm glad that they read the room. They understood the assignment and said, hey, we need to out-sustain a Chang'e. Chalice is the only way to go. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. There's no magical item that just makes this happen. Hey, everybody gets 1,000 health per 5. No, you need to get a chalice. And that's a smart move. At least in the early game, it's definitely going to pay off.
And there's meditation. You could go that. I mean, you'd be throwing, but you could totally do it. And
Okay.
Waterbugs. No one's trying to throw here quite just yet. We're trying to actually play for some money. That's why we're gonna have another 40-minute game on our hands in a second. 4 minutes so far, a tenth of what's gonna be the end result. 2-1 still. Waterbugs trying to find an opportunity here to move forward, but like you said, just so much more difficult when you pick that Ymir top of the draft and everyone can just easily build around it. With that solar swing in pocket, not even the tank is an easy target. So I'm just curious to see how Waterbugs are going to get this fight started.
Here's what I've noticed about. Look at that. Oh, man. Walk up, Frost Breath, Glacial Strike, walk away. Exactly what I was going to say. Here's what I noticed about Kato compared to the other Ymirs that we've seen tonight. Very aggressive. Very, very aggressive, and realizing, hey, the team's behind me. I can comfortably walk forward because if someone steps out, we kill them. Medusa, Viper Shot, Chang'e combo. I mean, we just wipe health bars if we play this carefully. Oh, my God.
Trying to wipe away the Maui, but even with 2 ultimates, it's just not enough quite just yet. Caught in the midst of the Suns, the Waterbugs have to dip back for now. Chung on a bit of a precarious position. The Phoenix Flames catch the tail end of her dress, lighted a flame. Hoi Yi being left alone to dive in, looking for his own wife. That's just messed up. Leave her alone. You can see clearly he's trying to file for divorce. Medusa will simply not have it. Says, back off, my girl. Finds enough damage to force Star Sample back into nearly the grayscale. Waterbugs low, though, as well. Great wall. No mana for Hoi Yi means they're in trouble. The Viper Shot's been readied. Medusa wasn't quite close enough to finish the job. Very close fight on either end, but no one will quite fall.
No one except for the enemy blue buff. Waterbugs are not able to secure. Oh, wow. Going for the okay, he's not going to go for it. That would have been a crazy finesse right there. But Avengers, hey, if we're not going to walk away with a kill, we might as well walk away with an extra blue buff. And that's exactly what they did. You're taking away XP. You're taking away sustain from that Chang'e, because how is she supposed to heal if she doesn't have any mana? You got to think about that. That's a big part of it. She doesn't have the mana chalice. She doesn't have anything to help her out and get that mana back in pocket. She's left defenseless without mana, but she decided to go back to base, get a little bit more itemization on board, and that Sands of Time might help for now, but that's a good steal.
We'll certainly take it at this point. It's anything you can to try to patch up the gold, the loss that you have, thanks to that extra kill in the pocket of Waterbug. So far, about 600 difference. Really nothing too important to look at here. But it's again the question of, all right, when does the pressure burst? You have already some decent power spikes being locked in here. You can see tier 2s being reached. And once we secure that second full item, I think that's when chaos really begins to reign. The Avengers, though, I'm not sure what Waterbugs have been rocking in terms of their compositions. I feel like the Avengers, though, really center around Fat Duel on this Hoi Yi. And I think it's going to continue to implement that character at that level of perfection we saw in the prior game. I think it's going to be for good things on their side.
And I like the build with the Hou Yi. You're not building ability base. You're still building for basic attacks. Wait a minute. Good catch on the Maui.
Ooh, let's see if we can try to get him off the back of that wall. Dueling Dragons. Find some decent damage. Petrifying Gaze. Only going to find the Yu Huang. Good damage on the Hui Yi as well. Forces the beads. They're going in deeper for the action. Lunar Waltz going to evade one tower shot. Acid Spray for a bit more poke. Oh, dodges that Ricochet. That Sidewinder is going to be very helpful for the Medusa to try to just juke around and tiptoe against these Ricochets. Now looking for this tier 1 tower. Going to be walling them off, but the Suns quickly put a stop to their plans. Water Bugs got to retreat.
Where I was going with that is here's what you have to love about Fadul on the Hu Yi. You make up for having here's the consistent traditional Joust comp, right? You have a hunter, which is for your DPS, and then you have a mage, which is for your burst. Hu Yi has both. He's the best of both worlds. He's like Hannah Montana. He's got the poke from the Ricochet that does massive damage poke wise, and then you still have DPS because he's building Leather Cow, Crimson Claws, and now Exi. He's able to do both perfectly. And then you still have a mage, Modi, out of all mages, an amazing mage player to capitalize on, hey, you burst him down a little bit, I'll burst him down a little bit more. And it's easy pickings for Maui. I mean, you just have to hit one island, one hook, and the rest is history.
Gonna hit one Dueling Dragons there. Finds the Serpent. Not for too much damage off the back end, and certainly no for any follow-up. A little quick Lunar Waltz going to heal them back up too, so it's just going to be even harder to see Chang'e wrapping around that left side, trying to find the opening. Good damage there already up the Crescent. Good freeze off the wall too. See if they can find the damage to follow. I'm liking Water Bugs. Like you said, man, it's guerrilla warfare. Go in, go out, and they're certainly going in right now. A big blink falling up there with the ult from a tire. Just finds a good scare on top of the Hui, but that might be enough. Ooh, there's that Dao Cultivation. Not going to be enough, though. Modi has their soul cultivated by Banana Stabber. And the Avengers, 2-man strong, trying to defend this tower still.
They're doing a darn good job. They might have lost one body on the job, but it's still up. It's still right there. And that's what they wanted to do. I mean, mission accomplished. You might have had a casualty here, but it is what it is. You got the job done. Let me just say something here. I love this Kato. Look at him just walk right on in. Tower shots. You think I care about tower shots? Waltzing right on in. Kato does not care. He's like a honey badger. He is going to walk and go wherever he wants to hit the Frost Breath to make things happen for his team. That is different than what we've seen from the Ymirs earlier tonight. Does he need the blink? Screw that blink. I'm just going to walk forward. What are they going to do? Kill me? Stop me? Then you guys jump in and we win fights. That's exactly how Water Bugs are playing this game. Avengers, on the other hand, they're poking away. Yo Huang is throwing out abilities and doing good damage. Oh, that's a good hover there, Tess. Look at that. They are looking to eradicate structures when the time comes because of that bracer and the Divine Barrier combined. That is an objective shredder altogether. Should they want to go for an early BDK, should they want to try and sneak a Phoenix when they're going for BDK, Water Bugs have an amazing game plan put together, and I cannot wait for them to show it off.
Definitely some tech. Absolutely some tech being shown here that the insect world has yet to reveal to mankind. We're getting off the mark here. I gotta say, Fadul has not been hitting these like they were prior. Maybe Water Bugs just have a bit more unorthodox movement, but so far, doing a solid job with the 10 minutes. It's 3-1. About a 1,300 gold lead here for our friends on the side of Order, but it's a 2v3. Still doesn't matter to me. The Avengers have to back off just because the Water Bugs got that aggressive force in the fact of Kato. Red buff on the mark to be picked up here without too big of an issue. Water Bugs securing their farm.
They earned it. They earned it with that pressure that they've been applying on the map. They earned that farm. They are genuinely enjoying that lead, and I cannot blame them. Abilities being exchanged here at the tower line of the Avengers, sitting at about 700 health, my wild estimate on that tower. I mean, Water Bugs, they've definitely got a decent advantage here at the 11-minute mark. They're doing good. They're doing fine. They're maintaining pressure, and it's not 100% present on the scoreboard, but it's felt in the air as Petrify. Oh my God!
They're looking in the back line. I want the force. The tire says you got served. Fadul goes down, and Modi served up on a silver platter right after. Finally gets the kill on a Banana Stabber in consequence. It's 2-for-1 so far. Ymir might fall down in a second. Those minions are looking awfully angry. Tier 1 going to crumble, and Chang'e trying to find the ace. Not quite going to be granted. Now just some revenge for all those blue buffs stolen.
You know what's even bigger than the ace, than the deicide, is that tower falling. Because with those two, with Kato and a tire, you don't have enough to take out a tower and a Phoenix. I don't think they wouldn't have gotten that far. But you got a tower and you walked away with your life and some extra farm. They wouldn't farmed all of left side during that process. This is a huge W. While you're in the neighborhood, stop and smell the roses, and the roses being those camps that are going to give them that XP difference that we're seeing below. Gold difference as well. Water bugs are doing everything correctly that they need to do in order to certify the win with the playstyle that they chose. Aggressive, fast, pedal to the metal. I mean, full gas. You are wanting to go, go, go until you can't go no mo, because otherwise Fabdul and Modi will poke you down like you will not believe. Those little kind of hard-hitting abilities that you saw in the early game will begin to nuke your health bar. So keep on going, Waterbugs, and you will walk away with a victory.
Certainly doing so as Medusa advances forward, finds Petrifying Gaze on top of the hole. He's got to retreat, but once again, your wife wants damage. Says, take that for all the times you refused to go out for date night. Shards of Ice are charging, going to be evaded there by Celestial Sabbatical. Unfortunately, that vacation is going to get put to an end by some acid spit. Modi goes down once again, and this time the Maui has got no kills on their roster for the team to even feel good about, as 3 members stare him down. Landfall gonna be evaded as Chang'e just tiptoes around it with grace and whimsy, finding a bit of extra damage as Phoenix inevitably starts ticking down.
They're doing a good job. Maui very low in the air when he's going to fall before he can even hit the ground. Banana Stabber is going to grab the kill on Star Sample. They're going to go after that Titan, and it looks like it's going to be free.
I don't know, 3 seconds off Fat Duel, but yeah, with those minions, it's all inevitable. Once again, Chang'e goes off to face her husband, watches as his entire realm crumbles around him. That is one vindictive spouse. Someone needs to get them some marriage counseling.
For sure. Maui, on the other hand, he's a setup god. And again,
Are known for their Kumbra. You definitely don't want to give that to certain people like Attire. I mean, he just solos backlines, and it's really annoying because you can't really do anything against it. He usually runs the Conduit gem, which gives him the true damage. Then he makes himself a little tanky, and he has cooldowns, and he's just in your face. And when you land, you're just dead.
Oh yeah, there's that Ymir ban. We've seen Ymir picked and banned like crazy, man. And there it is.
Yeah, I mean that's the presence of the first tournament. A lot of these players might not have indulged in it, but they were definitely watching, and we duly notified that the walls made a difference in the game. I mean, the Ymir with the Thor combo, we saw a lot of that going on, and it was truly unstoppable. So smart move on the Waterbugs to get rid of the Ymir here.
The Fafnir, Kabrakian, Sobek, and Terra. Yeah, just unstoppable tanks. Just tanks that control the entire game. Just got to get them out. And we see the Chiron locked in by Bruv Gang. We were able to catch a glimpse of this just last game, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, another Chiron game. I mean, I wonder who's gonna pick it up. Maybe Asian will do it again. He's been rocking it, so let's see how that works out. I'm sure Waterbugs are looking for a huge counter here. They can't leave themselves too vulnerable with trying to counter the Chiron out where there are other options available still. I'm interested to see what they pick up here.
Absolutely. I don't even know. There's so many different ways they could go here. And there's a Tire's, I think a Tire signature pick, right?
Absolutely. That's definitely an attire pick right there.
It's gotta be, right? I mean, technically, Taco could play that too. Taco's been known for his Medusa, but with Attire just playing it so much lately and he's so comfortable on it, I have to imagine Attire's picking that up.
Absolutely. I mean, playing in this tournament, it's imperative that you're playing your better gods. There's no room for error. They've all been best round of 1, and here we are in the finals, best of 3. So they have to take the lead and try and get that 2-piece before the enemy team can even pick up 1 if they want to feel comfortable with looking at this.
There's Bacchus, definitely for Kato. And Bacchus has been banned like every game. We finally get to see some Bacchus action. You know, chat's really thinking that Medusa is going to Taco here. Oh,
agree.
that's a spicy hover, man.
And they lock it in. Interesting. Big counter for the Bacchus. No burps coming out of you.
Oh, yeah. Huge setup, huge zone control. You know, Pillars of Dormant. Big game
Absolutely.
changing.
Absolutely. Big Chiron also will be coming in. I'm sure Ganesh will try and get a nice little silence off on the Medusa and hold him down for a little bit. Chiron has a mere second to get an ult off. That could be the end of Medusa's life instantly.
Absolutely. Mr. Rob, what do we think is going to be picked next from either team or band here as we move into our second phases of bands?
Well, this is going to be an interesting choice in gods here. I mean, the water bugs could opt to pick up a Scylla, where you have that large engagement from the Bacchus. You can get the silence out, followed by a Scylla root. They'll just be vulnerable, and Medusa can ult as well. Get a huge combo off on that. As for Bruv Gang, I mean, they have so many options still. I mean, Yuhong is definitely out there. He's super safe. I love that god. But they still have options to ban gods, so I won't talk too much on what they're going to pick.
Oh yeah. There's that really good poke follow-up safe mage. The Thoth, it's gonna be one of those mages that's actually gonna be able to contest the range that you get with this Chiron ult. And the Changa ban.
Good selection in bans right there. I mean, Changa super safe against the Ganesh, countered the Chiron all instantly with one little leap. But Rough Gang is going to have to pick up a heavy hitter here. Whenever you bring Ganesh into the matchup, you have to have strong follow-up because Ganesh doesn't output as much damage, but there is a lot of potential for lockdown and secure for kills if Ganesh can hold them in place. And they picked the Persephone band. What do you think? Last band?
Oh
See
yeah,
what it's gonna
great
be.
ban by the Persephone. Like if y'all have ever experienced the Ganesha Persephone combo, it is not an experience you want to be a part of. And there's the Baron ban. Once again, you don't want this Baron, ulting through Ganesha's ult. Just carnage.
Big carnage for sure. And they pick up the Zongquay. Blink Zong. They often just solo the backline again. I mean, this you can see the water bugs just building for aggression. They're showing that they're fierce tigers of the jungle, and they're ready to take over. Nobody's stopping them.
Absolutely. And Zhong, you can build this so tanky. You can build this 4 damage, just blink and get your damage off. Hope for the best. You can build this auto attack. He's so many options here. So many ways to play it. It's gonna be a show here.
Absolutely. And I mean, a safe play would be to build it basic attack based as well. You know, Ganesh is going to be silencing you. You won't be able to get your kit off. But if you're throwing autos that burn and you have Medusa spit follow up with a Bacchus lockdown or even
Oh
an
yeah.
ult, I mean,
Oh
that
yeah.
person's just done.
That
They're
brother
just done.
gone.
That
Yes,
brother
sir.
gone indeed. Rest in peace.
What does Bruv Gang need here? They need like I think they gotta get a mage, 4 damage, fight back, following up off this Ganesha, maybe something that can help the Ganesha, because now Ganesha ain't looking so safe. He's gotta play so careful.
Absolutely. Super safe. But like I was saying earlier, Scylla might not be bad as well. I mean,
Oh
you know Zong is
yeah.
gonna look to blink. If you get a nice root off of him on him when he blinks and you just crush or even ult, it's over.
Oh baby. You called
Bro,
it, Rob. Hovering the
bro.
Scylla.
And I
Thinking
could
about it.
feel it. It's in my bone marrow. I felt it. I knew it was coming.
Oh yeah. They haven't locked it in. They're really thinking about it.
They're contemplating if they want to play counter or they want to play aggressive. Ganesh is such an defensive god, but can be played aggressively. Not into this team comp, in my opinion.
Is Scylla someone you really want to play like defensively? Because when you're in I'm a monster, you're just so susceptible to get bursted. And
Absolutely. I
Scylla
mean,
just go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. You say what you're saying.
Scylla just thrives this blink 1-2 alt combo, and that brother gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big hovers. See if they lock it in.
And we're switching to Raijin and locking that in. Oh my, what a spicy pickup. Great range. We have this ult that can taunt or fear them through Ganesha ult. The combo with Chiron and Raijin ult is just really going to be able to blow someone up. But is it going to be enough AoE when you got a Zhang and a Medusa and a Bacchus just being able to, like, so much easier to hit you at the same time? What do we think, Rob?
Oof, this is a tough one. I'm feeling like the water bugs are going to have good initiation, but if the Raijin can get a good ult off for that Chiron, I mean, there's just no way you're getting away from it. And even if you do, you're still going to take massive damage, and it's going to allow Bruv Gang to push objectives. Oof. maybe the water bugs might take this. I'm not quite sure. They do have good wave clear. Medusa doesn't have to step up to clear the wave. Chiron has uses one, which makes him susceptible to get stunned. But I think water bugs have it, in my opinion. But we will find out very, very soon.
Absolutely. And when we're ready, we're going to throw up the prediction and shoot us right over to the game. Take it away, our beautiful, amazing casters. We got D'Lo and Mort casting and Tess on the cam. Let's get it.
Thank you, K Money and Rob. Hello, everyone. I'm D'Lo once again. It's grand finals of that Joust tournament, joined here by the Morton Man, Tess, our almighty eye in the sky, Bruv Gang. Water bugs stepping up against each other. No Ymir in sight, but still 6 players that will give you a fright. Mort, how are you feeling?
I feel phenomenal. I feel fantastic, and I feel like we're going to see one hell of a game of Joust here. And here's the reason why. What we talked about earlier was at the end of the last game. We're going to see a lot of meshing here, a lot of 2 hyper-aggressive teams just going at it from the get-go. And as we leave this blue buff, I expect some aggression to happen any second now. With an aggressive tank like Kado, and the amazing plays, the good damage from an activation, I can't help but wonder when our first blood's going to be.
The damage already. If you are the water bugs, you do not want to be grouped up by any means for that training exercise or for that Raiju. The Raiju's going to be sending forth at you. I got to say, you're correct. That aggression is the name of the game here for the water bugs. Bruv Gang opting for something a bit more passive, especially with that Ganesh. The desk touched on it. What does the Elephant God provide to your team?
It's kind of the same thing that Ymir does with the wall, but instead of having one wall, you have a gate that does so much damage that if you stand in it for more than 2 seconds, your health bar is probably going to disappear. Ganesh is really good at control of the area. It's not just crowd control on one god, it's controlling the whole crowd who is in that specific vicinity. So fighting over these buffs, fighting over BDK is going to be pretty easy when you're with Bruv Game because you're able to isolate targets. That or they group together and it costs a lot of damage to do so. You're able to get a lot of things done with just the ultimate. Keep in mind you're able to use silences and everything else in your kit. Oh my god here.
Seeing ultimates being used already. As we see that petrifying gaze turn the elephant into stone, now decorating that tier 1 tower. First blood goes down to water bugs. Unfortunately, I was about to talk about how great the silence is as well in this matchup, but just as we were talking about it, Yashtul gets silenced permanently.
Well, he's back out of the base.
Yeah,
not
5 seconds, 5 seconds.
It's a 5-second death timer. It's not permanent, but I get what you mean. Yeah, permanently silenced, sent back to the fountain. It's a good analogy regardless.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we do around here. A little bit of glaze for my good friend D'Lo here. Made a good analogy, had to point it out.
A little bit of damage here for my friend Rajan. Love it here as well. Gonna use the Tycho drums. Not much damage though. Didn't love that too much. Hate it here. Bruv Gang trying to get aggressive. Unfortunately, when you use that taunt, of course, on those Tycho drums, you do cut the damage you do down to half, which is gonna make it a bit more difficult. The CC that Ganesh provides certainly nice, but it's not AoE. It's more of an area limiter. You're gonna see the pillars drop down there, but of course, instantly, it's gonna be able to walk out without too big of an issue. Attire stays safe.
Love that for him. That's an amazing way to go about it. Is showing that bit of aggression, saying, hey, just so you know, we're still Bruv Gang, sending him back to the fountain, letting him know, hey, if you want to mess with us, if you're going to mess with us, you better get some items before you do so. Otherwise, that would be a fatal mistake. So we're not too decided on a lead just yet. We're only a couple minutes in, and the gold lead is 8,000 in total, which, you know, it's pretty significant when you consider 3 players instead of the 5, but it's still nothing that you can't come back from. I do like, I got it's a little mixed up there, you know, and it's all right. A little bit of math. I'm not a mathematician. I'm a SMITE player, and that's just how it goes. I mean, yep. I'm not a college student. I'm a you know,
I'm a gamer.
I'm a gamer. Love that.
That's what it's all about here. We're not here for math. We're here for raw aggression. Not seeing too much of it quite just yet here. You got to imagine the water bugs are going to be responsible. They do have that damage buff wreathed around the Medusa's waist. Banana stabbers. Doesn't see any bananas to stab. Instead is going to opt for living flesh. Trying to find a way in. Bacchus leaps in. Doesn't find the mark. Not seeing any blinks once again, but we do see that lovely Kato tech, which is that veal. It's such an interesting relic to pick up because it's so atypical. You're never going to see this in your Conquest. No, this is Joust Tech.
Joust Tech in the Divine Barrier, which Kato pulled off and made efficient last game. It's not just about trying something different to catch them off guard. It's knowing that, hey, they don't know about this. This actually works for us. And here comes the ults.
This damage working out solid so far, but Petrifying Gaze, they go back in aggressive. Pitbull decides to risk their own life just to try to finish the kill. They don't succeed. Inactivation, unfortunately, going to be inactive for a bit longer. 20 seconds in the fountain for you. 3-0 unopposed here. Waterbugs going big.
Oh, I did not expect that one. And I want to point out, man, this is rough. This is a little rough indeed. Waterbugs are, they're doing good. They're doing fine. They're setting up kills. They're catching people out. And it's due to that Petrify from Medusa. Not just that, but the damage plus crowd control that you get from an aggressive support like Kato on the Bacchus pick. They really have an amazing, I don't want to say dream team comp. It's definitely a little bit ambitious, but it's a darn good comp. I'll say that much.
No doubt about it. And the fact of the matter is that if you're not even able to successfully defend up against those offensive pushes, then why'd you draft the defensive comp? You see the Raijin go in aggressive, but you already spent most of your kit. Once you use that Thunder Crash, that's your last safety card you can pull. You have the Zonkui, very immobile target of the 3 water bugs that exist, but has been a tank on his side as well. You can see he's probably going to be building into maybe a Prophetic or potentially even the Spirit Row, but I'd imagine it's going to be the former. This is going to make it even more difficult to take out what, in theory, should be the most vulnerable member of that team.
I'm a little worried for Bruv Gang's comp for the simple fact that they're very close quarters. Chiron's got a bit of range on him, especially with that ultimate. But once that's down, you have to commit to hitting your basics because he doesn't have that quick attack speed where he can just giddy up. Well, he can giddy up on out, technically.
True.
But regardless, you have to get in the nitty-gritty of things, especially this Raijin, who does have a bit of range with the ultimate as well, but not a lot, not a whole lot at all. I'm a little worried about how they're going to handle this matchup going forward, but you know what? I think they've got it in the bag.
I like the confidence here, but you're going to need a bit more than that. You're going to need some damage. You're going to need some kills. Get on the board just to feel like you have something to your name. Right now, 6 minutes. Might be trying to do so. Zonkui caught out in that left side. Bacchus, you want to be the only one there to defend him as Medusa's back in the base, and now Zonkui's going to join him there. Being forced there thanks to inactivation. Unfortunately, Kato strolls up and beats down Pitbull with his mutton bat. Finds a second kill there for Banana Stabber. And what looked to be a good engagement quickly turns on its head.
Amazing knockup from Kato, setting up the pick, and then Attire, or I should say Banana Stabber, follows through with good damage from the Petrify. It's hook, line, and sinker. It's about communicating with your team. Kato saying, hey, I'm going to go in. I'm going to get things started here. And then right behind you, Banana Stabber following up with the damage saying, thanks for the alley-oop. I'll slam dunk it in there for you. That is coagulation. That is team fighting at its finest from Waterbugs. And if they can keep that going, I'm expecting an early BDK, an early Phoenix, and we might see an endgame before you even know it.
In Joust, man, anything's possible to that effect. Bruv Gang just really having a hard time finding their stride. This horse, man, has got a limp leg, and you know what happens to a horse when they got a bum leg. They get put down and turned into glue. We need that glue to keep the team together, like you said, chemistrating, keeping that synergy on lock. Make sure that you remember that you were the Bruv Gang of the days of old. Remember, you back together, eat together, shower together. Now, put your heads together and find a way to beat the Waterbugs.
Well, maybe a ladybug might do the trick. I don't know.
It worked in a Bug's life.
It worked in Bug's life. I've seen the movie plenty of times. Big Pixar fan here. I don't know if you've seen Cars, but they're looking to run over the competition. I see a lot of pedal to the metal with the water bugs placed. Ka-chow. A lot of pedal to the metal aggression from water bugs. They love to just press forward and get kills. They need to capitalize on the fact that, hey, we have a really good early game. Not saying we have a bad late, but good damage early, especially because of that Jotuns from the Medusa. You've got that cooldown. You've got that penetration, the flat pin. you also, I mean, you've got a lot to work with here. So water bugs definitely have the upper hand in this matchup. But Bruv Gang, they're not letting up just yet. They're not going to put up their white flag and give up now. They have some opportunity with this Chiron range from the ultimate. You have good poke potential, and then Ganesh to make sure that it's followed up, throw you the kill, and continue that small snowball that you could obtain.
I gotta agree that it's on an activation because Pitbull missing all those Taiko drum beats is really unfortunate. It's a big target too. It's not like Zonqui's been, you know, slimming down. Not on Ozempic, not one bit. That guy is round as hell. So if you can't hit it, then you're in a bit of a sorry spot. Now you can see the water bugs pushing forward to just get a bit more extra damage on that tower. And with that divine barrier, going to be all the easier to grind down these structures. Zonqui serving as the bait. Gonna eat a bit of damage for it. Hold on, Pitbull starting to actually pull their weight, getting a bit of numbers on top. Unfortunately, Zonqui, if you don't drop him, just gonna heal back up thanks to that exorcism.
Love to see that from Pitbull. You know what I saw? I saw damage. I saw numbers. Don't let that full health bar fool you. We are starting to see some good damage from the Pitbull. 2 items already online. That Doom Orb and Divine Ruin will definitely get the job done, as they're putting a lot of focus on this Bacchus here, who's just eating up the damage. That was insane to see.
A lot of focus, right? But yeah, what's the result? Not too much. Puts down the divine barrier just for funsies. All right, fair enough. It looks nice in the lane, I suppose. A little window pane to watch as potentially these finals pass you by. You see the blink in there from the Zonqui. Demon Recall gonna try to take down the soul of Pitbull. Good job using that fear from the Taiko drums to keep themselves safe. But now caught in the midst of an island. Look at that, you've left your elephant all by themselves. Using the Ohm to try to get themselves back to a point of safety. The tier 1 can't say the same as it takes a tumble. Bruv Gang maintain their lives 10 minutes in, but at 1-5 with a steadily increasing 4,000 gold deficit. It's not looking much better for them. Look at this, going aggressive. Drops the pillars, but the Petrifying Gaze quickly forces Joust to return back.
Petrify in, lacerate out. That's how you create distance and make sure that your invasion goes successfully. They're able to seal the XP of the buff, not the actual buff itself, but they grab the gold, the XP from it, which sets Bruv behind just that much farther behind. I think that's what you want out of this. It's making sure that, hey, we're not getting all these crazy team fight deicide kills all the time, but we're not letting our foot off of your throat. We're not going to let you breathe a chemical of oxygen before we get this victory pretty soon here, as we are at the 11-minute mark, and things are looking pretty good for water bugs, but Bruv Gang not letting up just yet.
They're trying, but again, you're a composition that really does not stand well to have any aggressive movements. And in that sense, you're kind of just letting water bugs do what they wanted to do in the first place. They're going to walk at you. They're going to kill you. They're going to keep on putting that plan in repeat action. Water bugs starting to position a bit to the left side, potentially to bait in a reaction from Bruv Gang, or to dedicate themselves to that BDK. Going to be the former as they look for some damage. Giddy up and a Thunder Crash going to get them back to safety. Bruv Gang just gotta wait for an opportunity. The next time you see the Zonqui blink in, I really want to see us just focus fire on him, because I think he might just be our best chance. But you see that defense slowly being built up even further. It's only gonna get more difficult with time as these level and gold disparities widen further.
That Eldritch Dagger comes out, and I'm starting to think that there's something very unique about that Divine Barrier that's causing that pickup. There is something about that hidden tech that is letting water bugs thrive in just about every fight they participate in. Even the upgrade on Divine Barrier already.
Broken. Let's see what they got damage in terms of their own kits. It's a little trade there. Pitbull for a tire, no more mids. Activation takes down Banana Stabber, and hold on. Bruv Gang find themselves with a positive fight. Divine Barrier not going to help you this time, Outcat. Or maybe you should have got a different relic. Nah, he's going to be just fine, honestly, as he attempts to defend this tier 1. Might be a tough call, though, without your backline.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do. If you're Kato sitting there defending, you've got your ultimate still online, thankfully, so you do have a good wave clear, but that burp will only get you so far, and that knockup, if you miss that and you put yourself a little out of position, you might get punished for it. But look at the Divine Barrier back out yet again. What a crazy tech. I would have never expected to see this in Smite.
Well, it forces them to take a different stance. They can't sit at full range to basic the tower, since it reduces the damage of the ones that go through it. Think of it as a reverse Glyph of Pain. Instead of enhancing it, debuffs, and that makes it a bit less advantageous to stand there at full range, forcing Bruvgang to get a bit deeper and a bit more dangerous, right in the belly of the beast. And as you can see on that Bacchus, Cato's got an awfully big belly, so that's where he wants them. 14 minutes just about. 3 to 6. Waterbugs doubling the kills. And still up by about 3,000 gold or so. Just waiting for another chance now that the backline's back in action.
Backline is back in action. All 6 members are ready for some action here. So we start circling around this middle area. I believe that Bruvgang might be wanting this BDK sooner than later, and I can't blame them. It would help them find a victory a heck of a lot faster. But I don't know exactly how they go about it. Maybe they realize, hey, Waterbugs are going back to basics. This could be our time. Maybe they look for a pick first. All I know is that BDK is going to be the key to success. And while they have the lead, Waterbugs need to try and grab it. But Bruvgang, I mean, they're feeling aggressive regardless of the stat lines, regardless of the scoreboard. They still want to show that, hey, we've got a bit of fight in us, and I like that.
I'd like that a bit more. I do like the spirit of it. I like the mentality aspect of it. I'd like it more if you were on a Ymir and not a Ganesh. You dash up aggressively by yourself. You have no follow-up damage to speak of. At the very least, you talked about those glacial strikes and the frostbite basics to follow because that's a large part of the kit. There's no damage here to speak of unless Bacchus leaps on in and puts himself in a bit of danger, but even when all 3 members of the Bruvgang focus on their efforts, look how much damage that did to Cato. Dude's still standing perfectly strong.
Standing perfectly strong. Take a bit of chug of your big old bottle there and you will be just fine. But thriving off of that last fight, Waterbugs make their way to the BDK, and Bruvgang are right behind them. Divine Barrier is out, and it looks like things are about to unfold.
And once again, Sleeves, we've seen this story before. Recall Demon's gonna expire. Here comes Sagittarius trying to find a bit of extra damage. Attire goes down. Another good fight here for Bruvgang. Petrifying Gaze does find the elephant before they're cleansed thanks to a good basic training exercise. And then the Medusas run down, stomped to death beneath the horse's hooves. 2 more kills in the pockets of Bruvgang.
And it is a lone Kato yet again to defend their tower. Are they going to make it back to base? You know what? They don't even want to go back. Dude, Bruvgang does not want Kato to go back. I would have let him go back and say, hey, we'll just take your tower for free. You don't even have to fight us. But I think they want a 3rd kill along with this Phoenix, which makes sense because both other bodies are down. It is a lonely Kato, as I just previously mentioned. And he's having a hard time defending this Phoenix.
He's doing an okay enough job at the moment, but gonna have a hard time now. They're going back in. Let's see if he can get some kills. Aegis baited out there. Remove obstacles, find some good damage. Thunder Crash back in. Raiji gonna pay for it with his life. One last jump before he meets the big drummer in the sky. The cost of that, though, hey, works out. They managed to grab that mid-Phoenix from Bruvgang.
Love that for him. Very good stuff for Bruvgang. They're back in the fight. The scoreboard said otherwise, but Bruvgang said, we do not care about no scoreboard. We don't care about the first 15 minutes of the game. We are here. We are now. We'd like to live in the moment and then worry about the future later. So that's nice. That's good. And I'm glad that they're showing that confidence in their gameplay, the confidence in the picks alone, along with the builds. I like that aggression from the Ganesh. He's got that. Oh, I'm forgetting Smite 1 items, and it's looking embarrassing on a cast. Can you hover that one for me, Tess? Right next to Gauntlet of Thieves, the green one. Talisman of Energy. Love that. So that gives movement speed and attack speed for your team, so you can continue that aggression. And that's why Bruvgang are able to take out towers so easily. They're able to take out health bars so easily because the attack speed and the movement speed will not let them stop.
And I'm really trying to detect and put my finger on the turning point for how this all happened. I think Bruvgang really did flip this entire script on its head. And I think it might be a bit too much aggression. Simple enough, right? If you're going to keep going full tilt W key, at some point you're going to run into a brick wall that stops you. I think Waterbugs got to play this a bit more tactically. They're playing a bit further apart. And Bruvgang are doing a good job staying together. That's where they've always had their strengths, their synergy, that coagulation you touched on earlier. Now 18 minutes in, 6-6. Waterbugs can no longer rest on their laurels because at this point, they're the ones under threat of losing this first game.
There's always threat in the air because we're at the 18-minute mark, almost to the point of late game. We're not seeing full builds yet. We do see some level 20s, all 6 level 20 now that I mention it. we are not at the late game yet where people are waiting on 3K pots, but we're getting very close to that, which means that the next fight could very well be your last, especially with that attack speed from the Medusa that's already incorporated within Viper Shot, not to mention Crusher. You're going to be able to take out these towers very quickly, combined with the Divine Barrier. There's so much to love about the Waterbug Siege potential. So if one fight goes wrong for Bruv Gang, they are out. They are done. Well, at least for this first game. It's a best of 3, so they've got the second game to work with, but the first game not going to be in their favor. That's the problem here. You need to learn how to address that, and the only way to do that if you're Bruv Gang is to just put a stop to the snowball. It's easier said than done, I know, but if you let them get one siege off, and it's going to be game over. Oh, they might beat him to the BDK here. Bruv Gang surrounding it half health and approaching Waterbugs.
Seems they're going to be able to grind it down. Bacchus not focused on the objective, focused on trying to stop these members from escaping. The giddy up grants you a bit of space. Zonkui goes in the back line, can have a hard time taking down this horse pony. And as they see the pony show might not go to an end, there's the alternate timeline. Zonkui able to get away with a sliver, might not be the case. One last basic finishes the job, and the petrifying gaze finds no kills quite just yet. Pitbull runs down the snake as well. Once again, it's just poor Kato alive, trembling to tell the tale.
I'd be trembling too. I mean, that's 3 very hungry members of Bruv Gang looking for their final feast at the Titan, and that thing is gonna melt quick. Kato, love you, buddy, but I don't think you have it in you to defend up against those 3 monsters of players.
Bruv Gang take it with spades after what seemed to be a real rough start, honestly. Respectable performance on their part. You know, I was doubting at first. I was saying that comp
Potentially come back with a W.
I've got to say, I think that they might have it, honestly. You're able to come back from the depths of what seemed to be a pretty dire spot in terms of your game state and really bring it back without any issues. Once they started to get the engine moving, they never let it slow down. They got every single kill they needed and made sure to just continue rolling with that pressure. I think Bruv Gang take this one in 2.
I hope so. I mean, I'd love to see a best of 3. I love me a good reverse
too.
sweep, but with Bruv Gang, that kind of performance, I am not so sure. I think the Bacchus pick is part of it.
Oh man,
I
Here we
really
go.
hope I imagine they've taken some time to think about it, talk about it, come up with a plan, and then we'll see it.
Definitely. And here we have some of the stronger Guardians banned right off rip. I mean, everybody
Gotta get them
knows.
out.
They know. You got to get them out of there, just like K-Money just stated.
Oh yeah. Oh, Waterbugs with the Chiron ban said no Chiron for inactivation.
And that's a huge move on their behalf. Inactivation is just too comfortable on the Chiron. He knows when's to cleanse. He hits his ults. He's always there. And he has that little dash to get away. So hopefully take that out of his hands and force him to play something else.
Are we gonna see the Ymir ban here, or are we gonna see it try to get picked up by the Waterbugs?
That would be good to see a
Perhaps.
game without walls.
The suspense is killing me.
Absolutely. And there's that Sobek ban you were talking about before we even started the tournament. I mean, they just know they have to get that out of there. Late game is just too pivotal. Like, he'll just
Oh
be
yeah.
destroyed.
And we saw just the havoc that Sobek rained down last tournament, especially in the hands of inactivation, just hitting on a clinic with top tier plays.
Oh, you just see him just grabbing people like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Just get over here.
Just right
Throwing
out of
them
their
out.
dashes, out of their escapes, getting in front of them.
Absolutely.
Just full control at the absolute mercy of him.
Oh man, Sobek, one of the most annoying gods. There's literally nothing worse than being in the air and beating too late as you still fly from a Sobek block.
Oh yeah. And there's the Ymir ban like we were just saying.
They called to get him out of here.
Get him
Sick of
out,
the
man.
walls.
God's too good. Oh, we get some Kumba action. Let's fucking go.
A tire might be opting to pick up the Kumba here, guys. This should be interesting. We'll see. Kato or a tire, who's gonna pick it up?
Kato, yeah. We haven't seen a Kato Kumba in so long. And there's the Terra lock in, hovering the Medusa.
Oof. That combo again, just like earlier, that Terra. I mean, you just lock somebody down, you root them, you smash them with the walls of fury, then you ult. You're just destructive.
Yo, whoever said where's the new, I'll time that guy out, bro. What?
Big
And
time
there's the
out.
Medusa lock-in. Let's go, baby.
There it is. Confirmed. Good wave clear, good sustain, good CC engagement, good healing, all around good combo.
Oh yeah, what do we see on a return pick here, Rob?
Mm. Interesting. They could opt to do a few things here. I mean, I haven't seen a Charybdis all game. I haven't seen a Charybdis all tournament. Not that it's the best combo here, but she's a super safe god, and she can do massive damage in a quick instance.
I feel like she's better on the back pedal and the double tank. I think we really want to see more burst
mm,
punchers. Just like we talked about, because we got double backline, we got these traditional comps. We want to see the kill or be killed gods, the ones that just do it. And there it is, a Hu Yi lock in.
Interesting. I was hoping for some different gods and not just all the same gods this game. That's why I shouted out Charybdis. I wanted to go in a different way, but
Oh,
as
one
you
can
know,
hope.
meta gods, you gotta just make it happen. Big Kumba alts, followed by the Yi alts. Unstoppable once you're in there. You're dead. It's just
A hun-
over.
$150 on the line, man. You gotta lock in. There's so much here. Being the best as well. Last tournament of Smite 1 potentially.
K Money closing out Smite 1 in a dramatic way, coming in with some
Yo,
hot tournaments.
absolutely. Big shout out to Joust in a couple of days, baby.
Yes, sir. Smite 2.
Few more days, they're free to play.
Absolutely. I know everybody's excited for that. What do we have here? They got the Chang'e out of there. Followed up with that. Is that Raw? Followed up by a Raw
Those
band.
are,
And the Persephone and the Disco. All really good bands all around. I mean, all these mages are super annoying. Raw just goes too well with the Kumba combo. Same thing with the Chang'e. You get blinked on, you get Kumba altered. I
Whoa,
mean, it's
whoa,
just
whoa,
too many
whoa,
ways.
whoa. Why are they hovering a new alt? Wait a second.
And I think
Rob,
chat was
are you
onto
seeing this?
something.
Excuse me.
What is going on?
What type of insider information? Ah, there
Oh,
it is. They trolling, man. And there's the Tilf lock-in.
felt like there was a fly on the wall in their Discord for a minute there.
Yeah,
Anubis on
man.
it?
Knew I would have been crazy here, trust. Anubis? Wait a minute.
And the
And there's
song
the Zhang
again.
lock-in.
Mm. How do you feel about this Zong in comparison to the range that the Thoth and the Medusa
Oh,
possess?
I feel like if Zhang can get in there and do work, it's gonna be just a show. But we're playing against the range and the setup and that Brav Gang is bringing here. They have so much range with Medusa Thoth, so much follow up off Terra. Terra with some crazy AoE and zone control. I'm
Oh,
kind of concerned for the water bugs, to be honest.
I am as well. But we've seen it before. I mean, we think things
Absolutely.
are gonna go one way and then they end up going another. Salty run
Absolutely.
back. Salty run back.
All right, I'm getting this prediction thrown up for us in just a moment.
Big poke from the Bruv gang. I mean, I don't know how they even intend to get close unless it's like a phenomenal blink with beads down and dashes down. I mean, it's gonna be really tough. We'll see though what water bugs can pull out of the gutter with this one.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prediction is up. Cast your votes. Who's going to take game 2? Is it going to be Bruv Gang taking home the tournament? The first tournament of 2025? Or is Waterbugs starting their comeback story right here, right now?
Mm.
All right, and taking it away, we got Big Mort, Big D'Lo, and Tess on the cam. Let's get into it. Here we go. Over to you guys.
Appreciate that, K Money and Rob. Hello, everyone. Big D'Lo and Big Morton Man over here with Big Tess in the sky. Water bugs trying to find their way back into this series. Bruv Gang trying to make a nice, cool $50, all sly and smooth like. Mort, how we feeling?
Been like, that amount of money sounds good, and I think I'd want it. Waterbugs definitely have something to prove here. They made their way to the finals, but they lost game 1. And I can't help but wonder how that affects their mindset going into the game. Do you feel ambitious? Do you feel angry, needing like you need to get revenge? Or do you remain cool, calm, and collective, which is necessary in order to make the required correct decisions that win you this game? Well, we've got a better team comp coming around. Waterbugs definitely drafted a little bit better. I think they've got a good game plan worked out. So excited to see how it works out here as the action's already beginning to unfold.
Yeah, this time you got. Well, hold on. Actually, now I think about it, it's kind of the same strat. 2 thick boys, and then on Archer. I kind of like that, though. They're staying by the tried and true. It's the same idea. Different font, though. The CC provided by Kumakarna is a lot different than the CC that a Bacchus provides. Oh my god! The damage on this Hoi Yi already starting to channel what we saw from our friend, who was it? Clud, I think, that was piloting this Hoi Yi prior, and Banana Stabber show that they're just as capable.
Fabdul was the Hou Yi you're thinking of, and Fabdul put on
Thank
an
you.
amazing Hou Yi performance. But will this Banana Stabber be able to follow up with what an amazing game we've seen so far from Fabdul? And I think they're doing a good job. I mean, a couple of good ricochets so far, and we're very early on in. Not to mention, I'm a big fan of the Bluestone, which will reward your late game comp should you get there. I'm pretty sure they will. Based on how these games have gone so far throughout the night, I think they're going to get to that level 20 status where that Bluestone Brooch or the other upgrade, whatever you choose, will work out well.
Trying to see if this purple buff works out well enough for you. The ricochet being a bit off the mark means the answer is no. Water bugs. Trying to take some dominant positioning. Could just decide to take the red buff instead, but no. It seems that we want to fight here, and Bruvgang not quite willing to give it just yet. It's interesting they're now piloting this Thoth, which was used against them prior by Sexy Apollo, now be used by Pitbull instead. What's going to be the idea behind this Ibis man to ensure success?
It's a very good question. Success is on the horizon. Success is everywhere around you. It's not about the success when you get there. It's about the success that you made along the way. Success is the friends that you made along the way.
Wise words coming out here from my friend Morty Man here. It's all about the friendships, and not feeling too friendly so far by the Thoth. Gonna find a bit of extra damage with that ultimate, but until you really start cranking up the levels, getting those items up on board, not gonna be doing too much in terms of numbers.
And we've got a lot of time to be doing number time. I mean, the match is young. The night is young, D'Lo. No need to get rambunctious and excited.
It's 11:30.
We've got. Look, if you're a square, then you could just take your grandma ass to bed. But
Hey!
me, I want to see these games here. I'm excited to see what's going on here. Petrify comes out.
Can't believe you said that to me. So offended. Anyway, Water Bugs gonna walk away, also offended by Bruvgang doing a bit of extra poke, more than they've enjoyed. The Zong Kuion attire. Interesting decision. Did pretty well at the start of that game 1. Then got a bit too big for his britches, was going too aggressive. What do you think is going to be the key to make sure that this time they're successful on that same pick?
That's a good question. That's a very good question indeed. I think it's about consistency. We talked about this earlier, and it especially remains true here. Violence and timing. Getting these two things down together, working your combo in a manner that is going to make these results unfold for you. That is necessary. That is essential to walk away with the W.
Hopefully going to be seeing that, and also some restraint. They don't want you blinking in all willy-nilly, you crazy bastards, so just try to keep it in tow. And to be fair, can't really do so. Has bees on his side. Instead, it's going to be the other chubby buddy, that Kumakarna rocking the blink. And I'm just curious to see how they end up rocking that. So Water Bugs, despite changing the kind of CC, I'd say Kumakarna can be aggressive, of course, but also is very much more capable of peel than a Bacchus. They're still trying to utilize it in an aggressive form.
But that doesn't mean that the abilities can't come off cooldown and then be used defensively again. I mean, you can get some CDR, maybe an early Breastplate of Valor, and then go from there. The fight's already unfolding. Look at the action that's being unfolded.
Nice little ricochet, finds decent damage. Mark of the Crow ensures it gets the stun off. Trying to find a second one. My God! Every arrow finding its mark. Banana Stabber. Looking like William Tell out here. Trying to find the apple juice. Oh my God!
Whoa!
Triple collat. All right. All right. Someone check this guy's PC. I'm a bit concerned. Petrifying Gaze responds to the blinking gaze by Kumba. didn't have the follow-up from Banana Stabber. Was too busy clipping it and sending it to his mom. Gonna try to find another one there, this time a bit off the mark. Water Bugs not able to come up with any big kills, but certainly showing some big intimidation tactics.
I'm starting to forget who Fabdul even was. I mean, like a memory long and forgotten about. And now we have this new legend on the field, Banana Stabber 24, getting some good damage off here. And not everyone's going to hit. You may not be William Tell, but you are Abraham Lincoln. Tell the truth when you say that you are one of the best to ever do it.
Is that what Abraham Lincoln said?
He told the truth, nothing but a truther.
He did tell the truth, and all right, I'll tell you some truth right here. That's not going to be enough. You got to make sure that Kato's keeping consistent. Oftentimes, we saw there was moments where they're separate from the back line, and that's what resulted in consistently. The back line dies, Kato survives. Can't be the case this time around. You want a truth bomb? Stay by your carry, stay by your mage to ensure success, or we're going to see the same result all over again.
Same result again for Bruvgang is another win in pocket, and they walk away with the cash prize. That's not a bad thing considering the circumstances, but Waterbugs don't need the same thing again. Waterbugs need some variety, some spice of life in their playstyle, because what happened in game one didn't work out. It's unfortunate, but it's in the past. You now have a reason and not a reason. You have a chance to earn back, and that damage from Thoth is going to make it pretty hard.
It's a lot more direct than Ahoyi, who's just trying to get off those fancy clips. I don't know. Ever since Banana Stabber hit that triple, hasn't been going the same. It must have been such a good shot it broke his aimbot. At this point, Kato got to retreat back, remembering that you're not really the primary bastion of offense here. 6 minutes, 0 kills on the board, a much more passive game than I was really expecting to see here, with a very minor lead, about 200 gold or so. Oh, sorry, actually, no, about 200 gold, really. Nothing actually significant here, but still in favor of the Water Bugs, so at least they can feel good about that.
Well, you know, it's 300 gold. You grab a red buff and it's gone. I don't think it's anything to write home about, but I mean, I guess if you want to flex an extra tier 1 or something, I mean, it's
Band for
definitely
band.
helpful.
What you got? Pull up the stacks. Give me them doubloons.
Not much apparently, but I like that early talisman of energy. You're able to get the momentum going a little bit easier. You're able to let your team follow behind your initiates because of that item. Big fan of talisman being so popular as it is. I mean, I'm not sure if this is 100% meta, if it's just popular within the tourney. I mean, there's certain things that I've been seeing tonight, that divine barrier included, that I've completely caught me off guard. That talisman's kind of along the same lines.
Yeah, I'm really a fan of how they've honestly, most of the itemization I think in this tournament has been really interesting, because Joust is not something that I personally get to see. I know that you, as a old master of the format, might have more intel on the tech, but seeing the variations that people take in terms of adjusting to this is so fun. Look at that Ricochet. Now, Banana Stabber's back on the mark, finding some good damage there on top of Yashtul. Trying to grab themselves that red buff, will be successful, and put in the pocket of Banana Stabber. That's scary.
Hey, I'm worried. I'm a little worried for Bruvgang. The results aren't huge, but they're minimal. It's all about detail. Pay attention to the finer print. And the finer print is that Waterbugs are walking away with one buff after the other, after the other, after the other, which will continue their minimal, for now, gold lead, and then potentially an XP difference here in a little bit, which will make fighting for Bruvgang a little bit harder than it needs to be. The thing is, with Pitbull having so much range and so much damage, so much utility as far as clearing camps and taking objectives like that, I know a red buff doesn't really seem like an objective, but in Joust, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You need to utilize that range and try and steal these buffs. You don't have to hard commit for everything, but you need to throw out some strays. Throw out a couple basics if you're Medusa. Maybe a Viper shot and an acid spray, and then if things get a little hairy, lacerate on out of there. If you're Thoth, you have a huge dash and a stun to follow. You've got a lot of range, a lot of damage with that wall. I think that you can easily fight for these objectives without really needing to fight for it. And that's what's going to get Bruvgang back in the game if Waterbugs let it happen.
That's a really good point, that the secure is undoubtedly far better on the side of Bruvgang, with Pitbull especially. Hoi Yi, the Sun's is a nice tool, but it's definitely not going to be anything to really write home about in comparison to Final Judgment. I do, in the meantime, just want to say that Banana Stabber tried to ricochet an arrow off the meteorite. Didn't work, but I just love the creativity. It's very kooky. And sometimes that's what you gotta do. Get creative with it, get wily. bit off the mark that time around, but sooner or later these are going to hit. The question is, what do you do afterwards? Because Kubo's waiting quite far in the back. You need to make sure you're prepared for when you find the trick shot, and it's not just for clips. It's actually got to be for damage and bodies.
Ooh, that was a huge thought ult that almost caught Banana Stabber off guard and sent them back to the base. Meanwhile, Bruv Gang realized, hey, we just sent him back here. It is nothing but Attire who's sitting here trying to defend this BDK. Do we poke him out? Do we go back to lane? What exactly do they do? And guess what? It's Joust, so they go back to farming in the middle lane. But eventually we'll see our first kill of the game here past the 10-minute mark.
I don't know, man. Maybe. They might just decide to resolve this through peace and diplomacy. That actually is an option that unlocks 20 minutes in. If you don't get any kills, I heard that's actually what happens. No, I don't know, though. I'm not a Joust expert, so we'll find out. Kumbhakarna trying to put not only the audience to sleep, but also the enemies, as he gives them a quick little nap. Not too much damage there to follow. And we go back to farming the mid lane. Love it here.
Love it here. Love this farming simulator we got here. And you need to get to that late game. And it's smart. I mean, farming's not a bad thing. They're playing the game how it should. It's just like watching paint dry. But, you know, paint needs to dry for a delicious, refreshing product.
Delicious?
That is a sound fair.
What?
A delicious way. Maybe a beautiful.
Paint?
Beautiful wasn't the right word.
You eating paint more?
I do a bit of huffing here, and that's fine. I mean, it gets me through the day. It's a hard day being a butcher, I'll tell you. So a bit of pain here. I mean, it helps me ease up at night and get to bed.
Kumbhakarna's going in. Petrifying gaze there off the back. Kumbha in a bit of trouble. Gonna be able to walk back without too big of an issue. All right, 11 minutes. 0-0 here. Small gold lead still goes the way of water bugs. They do grab that purple buff as well, gonna further cement it, but only 700 now, so really only a few cans of paint you can buy for that sweet, sweet relief from your daily doldrums and woes. You can see they're still taking that aggressive point. The question I got, Mort, is when this game pace is so slow, who really benefits? Who's going to be the bigger threat come late game after all this scaling?
We've already seen the damage from Banana Stabber. Here's the problem for Bruv Gang. It's going to grow to become even more. It's going to be even worse. It's not going to go away with time. This isn't like a rash that you can put a little lotion on and then ignore. This is something that you need to address now with some type of surgery or something. That sounded a little specific there. It's about nipping the problem in the bud before it becomes something bigger. And Hu Yi is definitely going to be the biggest threat out of all. Medusa's a bit of a threat as well. Terra for sure. There's some damage. But Thoth is also somebody who benefits from waiting to that level 20 full build status that can really just delete health bars. That Thoth ult, if it goes through his wall, it is going to be very painful. More painful than Hu Yi could put out with a ricochet, that's for sure. But you know, it's going to be easier said than done.
You know, I just realized that with that small interaction, this Thoth actually purchased a Magi's Blessing. Got the bubble around them to try to prevent those mesmerizers from finding their mark. Also a bit of protections to the side. You know, can't complain too much about it. But that pass is going to be really nice. Prevents as well that ricochet stun from finding them. The triple bounce there. Going to do a bit of extra damage to Joust to also just remind him just who's boss. Red buff. Secured here by water bugs. Continuously, slowly increasing and ratcheting up the pressure as they get this camp domination. He's trying to actually bait in fact, Yashul, but they're not going to quite fight for it just yet. And water bugs still not going full tilt in for that fight.
13.5 minutes. No kills on the board. Kuma's trying to set something up, but does not hit the dash. It is what it is. Good engage from Fabdul. Things are starting to unfold here.
Going to the left, blinks in, finds the Book of Demons, but the damage from the recall is not enough. Now they're split up by themselves. We said this could not be what happens. Unfortunately, the Petrifying Gaze off the mark. That's okay. You've been judged wanting. Attire goes down for the final first blood at 14 minutes. Finally, diplomacy is not an option. Bruv Gang are on the hunt.
Bruv Gang are not just on the hunt for a body, they're looking for a tower as well. Hu Yi had gone back to base. That leaves nothing but a lonely Kato yet again. I feel like we've seen this story before, D'Lo, where it's just Kato sitting next to a tower and hoping for the best. And
yep.
Hopefully it goes well.
Not going well so far. That Ricochet needs to do a bit more. The sun's dropped down as a mild inconvenience. Just, you know, put on some sunscreen and you'll be just fine. Now Bruv Gang. Take away a nice little blue buff. And it seems like they want to try to fight this one out. They find the root. But that's not going to be enough just yet. Adding on a bit extra damage on top. Medusa tries to slither away. able to do so successfully. Good blink. The epic uppercut off the mark or something, or did it hit the bubble? I don't even know what just went down. I think it just hit the Magis. Now it's on their final judgment. Charging up, they decide to back off instead. Beautiful use of the item. The final judgment does find our friend Banana Stabber, but now they're the one in trouble. The ricochet, immune by the egg, is perfectly timed, and Kuma gets knocked into his passive. What the hell is going on? I don't think he's going to go down quite just yet. He does manage to get up to safety, but still, I don't know even how Bruv Gang are still standing.
Kuma passive OP, let's go, dude! I really thought that was going to be the end of days for Kato right there, but that aggressive playstyle, it pays off yet again. Maybe not pays off. They didn't get a huge reward out of this or anything, but at least he didn't sacrifice anything. And what he did show, what he has to gain, is the fact that Bruv Gang, they still need to be worried a little bit. Just because they got 1 kill on the board, whoop-de-doo. It's good, it's great, but they don't have the gold lead still. They are not doing ahead, they're not ahead in levels at all. They are in the same boat as Waterbugs. Bruv Gang and Waterbugs are practically level at this point. So showing that aggression from Attire shows that, hey, I'm not looking to sit here and wait until the 30-minute mark to get this bad boy over with. I want your life here and now.
Can we go back to the fact that Magi's blessing actually saved Pitbull and the rest of the team from an epic uppercut? That is crazy utility. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but the fact that you're able to completely immune Kumakarna's ult is such insane value on such a vulnerable backliner. If Pitbull, sure, they're going to be lacking a bit of the damage that a full build those normally would be if they're investing all in offense. I think that the value that it provides is actually going to be far more worth it, since they really don't have a lot of easy to apply hard CC to pop that bubble away.
That's a very good note. You can't just use a quick ability from a distance and just get rid of it. I mean, it is going to be a little bit easier said than done, which makes the bubble all that more valuable. Oh, that is a huge tech from Bruv Gang, realizing, hey, it's a good panic button, right? But it's not even a button you have to press. It's like an automatic safety, like a seatbelt when you get in a car crash. It's automatically going to activate when you need it. That's exactly what that Spirit Robe is for. And it's not going to be busted by any mild fender bender. It's going to take a real crash from Waterbugs to bust that bubble.
So far, all these Hieroglyphic Assaults crashing into the Waterbugs. They have to try to scuttle their way back to safety. Mesmerize already been expended. Here comes the Heavy Slam. Don't really find too much. These Glyphs of Pain stopping quite a bit. And yeah, like you said, it's not easily applied from a distance. You have the Ricochet for a good stun, tries to find it there, not able to achieve it. You have the Book of the Demons, so you gotta get up close for that. Same with the Kumba, trying to get up close and personal right now. Does pop the bubble with that Mez, but again, you lost your Relic. What's the value? Not that much.
Well, you never know. You never know. I mean, it could be an easy dash in and then a stun from the 2 should the Thoth dash be pulled out, which that's a lot of ifs. I mean, that's not like a solid situation that's very reliable, but that Spirit Bubble, it does have a bit of a cooldown, a minute long to be exact, which is a minute longer than the Blink cooldown, but, you know, it's... I don't know. I don't know. Worth is a crazy word. We should wait for the results to really determine if worth is the right word to use.
One whole syllable, but means an awful lot here in this game. 18 minutes, 30 seconds, 0-1. And the fun's not quite just yet done, since no one is trying to actually kill each other just yet. Waterbugs doing a little bit of damage, just trying to pad their stats. At the very least, they're not focused on the minion damage like we were seeing prior between the Avengers and the Muscle Milk Mommies, thank God. But at the same time, it is somewhat becoming the same kind of slog. We need to see that tension burst, and I think that Waterbugs are the ones now a bit more under pressure, because Pitbull is going to be really remaining safe. Their positioning's been damn near flawless. Red buff picked up there. Might open up some opportunities if the backline can find it.
I'm going to stray off for a second here. One of my favorite things about doing Joust tournaments is they're always so creative with the team names. And Waterbugs and Bruv Gang, I mean, it doesn't sound the least bit scary. You know what I mean? I feel like when I've done Conquest tournaments, I've seen these people come up with the edgy names and try to look cool, but we're about having a good time here in Joust. I mean, it's still a competitive situation regardless. I don't mean to undermine that, but, you know, at least they're a little bit fun with their team names. It puts a little bit of quirkiness in our cast here, D'Lo.
I mean, I will say, Waterbugs, dude, are no joke. If you know what a toe biter is, those things are dangerous. Very high venom. Yes, man, it's true. Highly venomous creatures that lurk in the deep, and they will grab onto those dogs, and they will not let them go, so best be careful. Don't want to be dipping your feet into any waters you don't know what's inside of. Water bugs move forward, trying to take a big bite of someone's piggies, not going to be able to find too much for it, and now Kuma's got to go back home.
Jesse, we get a toe biter on screen real quick? No, I'm just kidding. Bit of
Gonna get a
a
picture of you,
biology
Mort.
lesson.
Can we get a picture of you, Mort?
Just sucking toes. Okay.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it, folks. I did not say it. 20 minutes.
Love it.
0-1 here. 1,000 gold up ahead for the Water Bugs, despite the fact that no kills are in their pocket. Impressive. They're slowly starting to grow these stonks up. But again, it's 1,000. It's nothing more than just a flex, and not even that big of one at that.
Bit of a flex. You know, flex what you have. Band for band is what you said earlier, and it's calling back to now where we're at 20 minutes and there's been one kill. I don't know how people play this game competitively, dude. I feel like this is I want to kill. You know what I mean? I'm a bloodlusty player. I would just
I
get
know, Mort.
angry and just run forward and blink and do something stupid. Maybe that's why I peaked Diamond and Joust. Probably should have admitted that on some cast, whatever. It's just, I don't know how they do this. This is Farmville at its finest because we're already seeing darn near full builds, and there's
Level
been one
20.
kill on the board.
It is a bit nutty when you consider the fact that we are on level 20. Both towers still standing with, I think, damn near full health on either side. Barely been scraped. It does, though, mean it's what you've talked about before. One deicide, it's curtains. It's all over. And Water Bugs seem to be the ones chomping at the bit to get that kill going. They just don't want to take that foray into the tower and risk it all.
Both towers still up. No plays on BDK. Jesus, dude. It's gonna be another long one, dude.
It's happening. Everyone, get out your drinks, get your decatheters out. We're gonna be here for a while, folks. All right,
Goodness.
BDK is available. I'm really quite not sure why neither side is deciding if Water Bugs want to bait a fight. Go to that BDK. Bruv Gang are gonna try to step up. Maybe it's the knowledge that Thoth can easily just guarantee secure without even really participating. But we are seeing now members are starting to position to the left. Hold on, big blink, uppercut, gonna find some good damage. This could be their chance. Petrifying Gaze finds good damage on the back end, though. And now the fight's been turned on its head. The Water Bugs need to scuttle back home once again. Oi using that dash to escape, and Kumakarna might just be left alone for their troubles. They seem to really want to go, though, instead. For the Zhonghui, some targeting issues costing them big, because Kumakarna was the far more vulnerable target, and now, trapped beneath the Suns, they're in a bit of trouble themselves. Once again, no one dies.
I'm preaching crash out range, D'Lo.
More,
T
no one's
minus
towers even
10,000
died.
meters. Getting a little bored here. I mean, I'm having a good time. It's
So
still
bored.
It is. It's nice. It's good stuff. I mean, they're coagulating together. There's just a lot of survivability with both relics on board. But we got 4 relics out of Water Bugs. That's really good stuff for Bruv Gang. They had to utilize 4 as well, so bit of sacrifice there, but they're going to utilize that Divine Barrier, get some damage off on that tower while Water Bugs reside and try to defend.
Lift of Pain is a really great tool, and so is that Last Judgment. Going to be evaded there thanks to the Hoi Yi leap, but Kana's going to be in a bit of a spot of bother. They've got it back, and this is typically where Bruv Gang have taken all the advantage. They will in this case, too. Knocking down that Tier 1 tower, but Tier 1 tower is not flesh. It's not bone. No one's dead, and I'm upset.
T minus 8,000 meters here, D'Lo. We're
Come on, dude.
approaching the horizon here. 23 minutes, 1 kill on the board, and this is the finals right here, D'Lo. I understand there's a lot of intensity in the air. I mean, the pressure can be measured with a yardstick. So I think that it is easy to understand that we're a little bit skeptical. We're not looking to fight just for the fight. This isn't your average casual Joust queue. This is for the cash prize from K Money himself. I understand that the stakes are high, but good gravy, man. I mean, we got to do something here. You don't win by standing around. You win by making something happen, and we need to see something happen quick.
I think it's more for your sake than theirs, because honestly, Bruv Gang doing a solid job for it. Meteorite, paid actor there by Bruv Gang, blocks the ricochet. That's just rude. But it seems that Bruv Gang with deep pockets are able to do so. 24 minutes, still the gold lead, incredibly narrow, and still the BDK remains untouched. That's surprising to me. I really think that Bruvgang, especially having the structural advantage, why not take some toes over to that side of the map? Instead, it's Terra suffering what seems to be a tickling, lightly done there by the Kumbhakarna. You figured that club would do a bit more damage, not the case. You can see the positioning in a spread out fan manner. They're trying to catch someone lacking, but it might be Kumba who gets caught with their pockets run instead. Gonna use that Prid Wind to get a big fat shield, but it seems that the same thing's gonna happen there for the Medusa. They slither away to safety. Thoth trying to back off as well. It's only Joust in the front of the fight. That turn's gonna be just fine for their troubles. In fact, it's Attire who eats the most poke out of it, but still not gonna die. No surprise, but still not happy.
Dude, Yastel, okay, we might not have seen a kill, but I'm going to put some respect here. Our crash out range has been furthened a little bit.
Okay.
Look at all that damage that Terra just soaked up. Is there a mitigated stat we could pull up, Tess, to see how much that Terra has been just soaking up all game? That's pretty, well, Kumba's even above, okay, it makes sense. But 2 tanks as beefy as these, I love the builds that they're going. That Reverent Pridwin is going to be massive for the Kumba. Gauntlet of Thieves and Spirit Robe doing what they do best. We've got some whole tanks here on the horizon, which can make, oh my god.
We've got some damage. The Prid Wind there going to be used effectively. There's the Ricochet. Banana Stabber takes down the Asian man off the back end. There's the River Rebuke. Sorry, there's the alternate timeline. But timeline going to be that's on be alive for a bit longer. Now the root down, trying to get a bit more damage on top. 40 seconds off for an activation. That ain't too shabby. Not too shabby at all, but the question is, what do you make off the back of it? Attire having to back off, and Medusa still being, or sorry, Pitbull still being around means that you got a pretty good hand at being able to defend this, especially if you keep tiptoeing around these ricochets.
And here's the problem. If Waterbugs decide to walk away and go for BDK instead, they're just going to get invaded by Bruvgang and probably taken out. I mean, Attire was on the approach around the corner, but now, I mean, in activation's got 10 seconds. He's going to make it out of that fountain probably towards the end of that siege if they decided to walk over there right now. They're stuck on this tower, and what they do from here, I mean, it's all down to skill here. Look at this Hu Yi hammered away basics, and damage is being flown onto this tanky Kumba.
Gonna be able to take down that tier 1. Evens up the structural board. Good stun, but nothing really much to follow up. One on the root helps out a little bit. That final judgment did absolutely no damage. That's going to be the cost of investing into those defenses. We're starting to see it now take place live as Attire's full built and going to have all those layers on top to just soak up that padding from those damage. 27 minutes here, 1-1. 2,000 gold lead here for the Waterbugs, but again, at this point, that's really peanuts in comparison to what we're really looking for, which is the fight. Bruvgang retreat back. Consider the BDK, just decide to ward it instead, and we just have to wonder where that next fight's going to come from.
We're T-minus 4,000 meters here, D'Lo. I mean, we're approaching here. things are looking good though. We're seeing a little more action. We're seeing a little bit more aggression. I think the players are starting to get just as impatient as we are, which is good news. Good news for everybody here. It's good news for the audience. Good news for us as casters. We can all get to bed here. It's getting a tad bit late. But you know what? I'm a bit of a night owl, so I'm excited to see how long the game's going for. I just like to see a little more action in the process. But we are seeing aggression. We are seeing consistent fights back and forth. We just have so much sustain with the heals from Terra. We have so much sustain from the healing from Zhonghui. It's hard to take down a lot of these bodies, and they're not able to get onto the more slippery targets, which would be Medusa and Hu Yi. So these fights are just going all over the place because there's so many things you need to keep in mind. It's these relics that are going crazy, these dashes that you need to track, and these ultimates which can change fights. It's going to be hard to really certify a deicide, but I think that Waterbugs have it in them. It's just going to take catching somebody out here. And Yastul is walking up quickly.
Fabdul, wrong one. We forgot about him, remember? Fabdul who? Banana Stabber, all about him.
That's my dog.
Don't know who you're talking about. And as we see, they're just trying to grab that purple buff. Here for our friend the Zhonghui. Does slowly manage to whittle it down, so they had something, I guess. It's a little participant's trophy. Get a nice little blue ribbon for yourself. Kumbhakarna on the front lines. Trying to find a target. Does manage to root down Yastul in a bit of trouble. Epic uppercut off the back as well. Zhonghui trying to corral the back line. Doing a pretty damn good job at it. Petrifying Gaze, though, gonna find them. The final judgment does enough to put a tire on his butt. Good kill there for Bruvgang, and now Hoi Yi in trouble. Has to consider where they want to land in hell. As the double kill there for Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide wants those $50. Kubakarna got to try to find their way out, but a quick wall going to stop them in their tracks. At this point, the only thing waiting for them is those fisticuffs. One more blast from her rockin' fist. And Activation takes the kill. Deicide there for Waterbugs, and victory there for Bruv Gang. They will take the tournament and the $50.
Congratulations, Bruv Gang. You have fought hard. You have fought a lengthy battle, but your time invested has paid off because you are earning the #1 grand prize. So shout out, Bruv Gang. Waterbugs, you did a fine job. You did a phenomenal job. What we saw, especially earlier in the tournament, made me really happy to see y'all make it here and potentially walk away with the W. But some things just aren't meant to be. And Waterbugs winning, I guess, just wasn't one of them. Bruv Gang walk away with a W, and it is amazing to be here, D-Lo. We finally made it. Bruv Gang earning that big win.
That was grueling, Mort, I've got to tell you. But like you said, they were just playing to the best of their abilities, and it makes sense with Joust. You've touched on it, you've emphasized it, you've harped on it for good reason. When you lose one member of the team, that's 33% of your fighting power, so you gotta play it damn carefully. They did so. They played it the closest and safest they could. Just was not enough to the raw coagulation of Bruv Gang. They've showered together, they've grouped together, they've eaten together. Now they can spend those $50 together on something nice. Hopefully, nice little meal.
Chili's, 3 for 10.
Chili's,
I love a little Chili's in
triple
my
dipper,
life.
triple dipper, one dipper for each person. Actually, kind of perfect. Love it here.
Triple dipper for the boys. I mean, that's a couple brews, couple cold ones. I love that. Little night at Chili's, bit of a reward, some camaraderie, more camaraderie with your friends. And Activation,
easy.
Yashto, and Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide himself tonight.
305. That's not Pitbull.
No, he goes, no, that is. He's on there. He goes, excuse
He's on there.
me.
That's not Pitbull. Yes.
No, that's Enrique Iglesias, I think.
That's not Enrique Iglesias.
What's his
You
name?
are crazy.
No, that's not his name. I got him mixed up. All right, look. He goes, Dale. That's Pitbull.
He does
Dale.
definitely go Dale. That's very
Mr.
true.
Worldwide. I listen
I'm
to a
glad-
bunch of Pitbull. Don't talk to me about Pitbull, boy.
Don't. Okay, more. Let's just pass it before we get into it here on the stream. Anyway, that is all from us here tonight. Me and Mort have had an absolute pleasure casting this tournament. So please make sure to drop some thanks for our friend Tess as well, our almighty eye in the sky. If you liked any of the production done here tonight throughout the entire scene, whether it be the observing in the games or these beautiful assets, these cherry blossoms drifting down around us despite the fact that it's cold as hell in winter, it's all Tess. Please make sure to drop thanks for our production down below. We could not do it without them. Thanks as well, a ton, to K Money and Rob for having us on here. It's been an absolute blast. Hope to do something similar in the future. But until next, guys, from us, good games and good night. We're going to pass it right back to our friends K Money. Go!
Wow. What a fabulous tournament. Just phenomenal gameplay. Bruv Gang taking it home, just staying true to them together, just working so well together, being patient, just phenomenal. Thank you everyone so much for coming out.